Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. We're live on the United Stand, and it is Tranmere versus Manchester United today here in the FA Cup, and we're live with the match chat. So get involved in the live comments there. We're just waiting for the team news to come through, but I've been told, I don't know whether to take it with a pinch of salt or not, that team's not going to be very accurate at all, and the team that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to put out is going to be very, very different. Well, we'll wait and we will see. We also have, I think first of all, it's Manchester United versus Tranmere, isn't it? So that's what we're at, and I think it's a very significant game. The pitch is a mess. I'm sure you'll see that in due course, wherever you're watching it. The pitch is a mess. We've got a massive week for Manchester United. Wolves, a week, less than a week, 6 days away. We've got Manchester to win this. I think we've got to certainly accept that. We will be firm favourites to win it. But it's a big week as well in relation to transfers, of course. Last week of the transfer window, I still expect Manchester United to sign Bruno Fernandes. I don't think anybody at this point is going to be silly enough to say, well, you know what, we definitely will sign him. But I think that it will be. I think it will be done this week. Massive game, says Adil Farouk. I've got to say, I'm quite hungover today as well. So irritability rating could go through the roof, to be honest with you. But this game's got 0-0 written all over it, says Kairos D. I don't know anything about Tranmere, and that's disrespectful. I haven't watched them, and I purposely haven't done any tactical check about them. But I think that's probably a good thing, because you can only be surprised by Tranmere, or you can only be, well, I thought they were crap, if you know what I mean. So I think we will win. I spoke to Flex. He's obviously gone on the way up there to watch the game and do the fan cams, and he said it's one of those games for Ollie where he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. If we win the game comfortably, everyone's going to say, well, it's just Tranmere, and if he doesn't win the game, everyone's going to be all over him. So it's one of those, and especially with the game, the games that are coming up in the next week. I just think the team news that's about to come in is massively important for Manchester United. I personally will say this before the team news comes out, and I don't know what you think in the live comments. I want to see what you've got to say, because the team news will be here in the next sort of 2 minutes. But I don't think Harry Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Fred, Martial should start in this game. They're tired. Ollie said that they're stretched. We're playing on a bad pitch. We've got City on Wednesday and Wolves on Saturday. I just think this is the sort of game where if you come out of it with an injury to any of those players, you go, that was pointless. I mean, Leicester won yesterday with their reserves. Man City's team again in the FA Cup today isn't their best team, so they're probably going to play a strong team against us. We've got to. I don't know whether he will. My thing is, will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer learn what happened with Rashford, what's happened with a lot of his players this team, with Pogba as well? Overplaying players can lead to injury. And I think, look, the FA Cup, it's Tranmere. If you can't trust people like Lingard and Jones and Bailly and Dalot in a game like this, then what? When can you learn them? When can you do it? But he might not do it, because he might think, well, you know what? I don't want... Well, if I lose, I'm going to just go with the strong team. But could the strong team produce the result anyway? I don't know. I don't know what you think on that. Put Gomez on, says Robert Bradley. He will lay them all out, says Lange Rooney. What's the worst possible outcome this transfer window, says Fred the Red? I think signing nobody. And, of course, a lot of people are saying that it's a very tight pitch, says Michael Jones. And they beat the under-23s in the leasing trophy, says Lisha O'Connell. So... But why don't you just recall Alexi if we need a centre-forward, says George Suko. Thank you for the contribution. You can do that through the Super Chat option. We can't actually recall Alexis Sanchez or Chris Smalling, because that was not part of their loan deal. So the team news is out, and it's relatively strong again. I mean, Maguire's starting, Martial is starting. No Fred, he's on the bench, and no Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who is not even part of the squad. So I suppose that's a halfway house, isn't it? That is a halfway house. The way that he's picked the team is a halfway house. So let me just do this. It's Romero, Dalot, Lindelof, Maguire, Jones and Shaw. We are playing back five against Tranmere Rovers. Jesus wept. My life. I don't know. I don't. Well, I presume we're playing a back five. That is rather surprising to me. I'm quite I'm quite surprised by that. I've got to say, I'm quite surprised by that. No Williams. So Shaw plays, Jones plays, Bay doesn't. Team is Romero, Delo, Lindelof, Maguire, Jones, Shaw, Matic, Andreas, Lingard, Martial and Greenwood. So I would say that we are playing a 5-2... A 5-3-2, yeah. It's hard to know. I mean, look, the team will take shape itself, of course. So no place for Juan Mata. I would have thought Juan Mata would have started, but I am somewhat surprised by this team. I've got to be honest with you. Pereira and Matic doesn't surprise me. No place for Angel Gomez. So Greenwood and Martial play. I've got to say, I think playing Martial in a game like this... I mean, look, then again, you could flip it the other way and say Martial needs a bit of confidence. But I am quite surprised by this team that he's put out, and I think a lot of people will be surprised when I get it up on screen for you now. So Jones... no place for Eric Bailly either. I don't know why I've got him in. Eric Bailly, Lindelof, Maguire. Let's drop Maguire in there. Lindelof, push you forward. Like that. And that should be your team for you. Let me just change it on the screen. And then I'll tell you the bench. I am hungover today, bear with me. I had a heavy night last night. I did have a heavy night last night. Right. This might not be right, but I think it is. So it looks to me like it's a back five. Because we're playing Jones, Maguire and Lindelof, but we're also playing Matic and Pereira. So I can't see that Jones is playing in the midfield like some people have said. So, good evening, Mark. What a joke of a lineup. It's Tranmere, too strong of a lineup. What is Ollie expecting? A Barcelona bench team. And yeah, just in relation to Angel Gomez as well. Angel Gomez isn't even on the bench, but Tahith Chong is. So it's Eric Bailly, Brandon Williams, Fred, Mata, James and Chong. No Gomez. It's really weird. I can't. I'm going to have to tweet this because I'm going to say I can't even understand this lineup today because I can't. No Gomez in the squad. A back five. Against Tranmere. It's really weird. I mean, look, the wingers will get forward, but I just don't know why you need three centre-backs against... I just don't know why. I just, you know, I think, of course, we'll probably win this game, and people will say, well, Ollie was justified. Nothing surprises me now. It's just numbness, says Sarabia Chowdhury. Yeah, I mean, look, we'll probably win this game. Of course we probably will, but I just don't get why you play Jones, Lindelof and Maguire. I mean, why play Maguire? Why play Maguire? Like, he's carrying an injury, and are we seriously playing five at the back with basically our best available forwards? Why has he gone so strong, and why can't Gomez start? Get Ollie out, says Jason. Well, maybe Angel Gomez is carrying an injury because he's not even in the squad. He's not even on the bench. Tahith Chong is on the bench, but this is a player who's looking to move. So... you know, there's Fabrizio Romano is very reliable about Italian things, and he's saying that Tahith Chong is off to Inter Milan probably. They're desperately trying to get a move, and here he is on the bench today, but no bench place for Angel Gomez. Jones at CDM, says Carter Van Namen. I'm trying to think how you could. I mean, I'm going to go with that. We can change it when the game kicks off. To get Jones into CDM, you could play Martial. We could do the 4-2-3-1, I suppose. Delo and Shaw fullbacks. Jones comes into the midfield next to Matic. Lingard or Pereira go to the right, and then the other one plays centrally. It could be that. It could be that, but I don't. I think we're going to go with this back five situation again. I do. I think it'll be like a 3-5-2. To be honest, I think Shaw and Delo will be like wingers, but. You know, it's funny, isn't it? Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said on Friday, "I'm not going to change my philosophy." Well, you've gone back to three bloody centre backs again. So I think you are. Maybe Lindelof's the CDM, says Man United. I hope so. Maybe Delo's playing at right wing, says Martinos. Yeah, look, I hope so. I hope we're not playing with 3 centre-backs. Their left-sided player, Taylor, he looked good in the highlights versus Watford. The pitch looks like a million dog shat there, says Fitness and Scripted, Sharath Kamath. And also, Zachary Purvis says, I don't know, will even worse... Well, if I will even waste my time watching anymore. I love Ollie and want to see him succeed, but selections like this prove he has lost the plot. Yasha Markovsky says, if fans were the board for today, Ollie would get sacked for that lineup. 5 at the back against Tranmere. How low we've come down. Ollie out. Disappointing. Well, look, I don't think there's any issue with United fans thinking we're playing a back 5. We'll have to wait and see till kick-off. He might be doing something unorthodox. Delo could be playing right wing, Lindelof could be at right back, or Lindelof could be in the centre defensive midfield position, or Phil Jones could be there. For all we know, bloody Harry Maguire might be playing up front. Who knows? We'll have to see. But for me, I think that it could be Jones at right back, as KZZ official audio says. It could be. We'll have to just wait and see. But I think we're right to assume, because last week we played with 3 centre-backs against Liverpool, that we are going to do that again today. We'll have to see. We are playing 3 centre-backs due to no depth in the midfield, says Daniel Gibson. We'll see. But I think that I've got to say that Wan-Bissaka not being part of the squad, Fred not starting is a good idea. He's rested 2 players there that I think really needed resting. I also think Martial and Maguire should not start. But at least he's rested a couple of the 4 players that I think desperately needed resting today. Opinion on Ollie's comments, re-club structure, says Josh Sutton. I just don't, my opinions, Josh, are probably the same as everybody else. I think that we, as a football club, are a joke and we're run very badly. So I don't really listen to what Ollie's got to say at the moment, because he's just towing a party line, isn't he? And that party line for me is not the correct line. You tweeted something about Jose talking about United, and you used Ollie's gif saying couldn't care less. Can you explain that? Says Fitness Unscripted, Sharath Kamath. It was just ironic sarcasm. Basically, Mourinho said that he wants to be a manager that speaks out, because if you don't speak out, after 3 months you become a puppet. And when you look at the situation at United, it's no better than when he left. So what basically Mourinho is saying is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has become a puppet to that ownership, and that's not helped him. And in fact, they're in a worse situation than we were under him, who was vocal about the problems at the club. Look, I don't think Jose Mourinho is incorrect in what he's saying. I just think that Jose Mourinho wasn't the right manager for us either. You're arguing about 2 different piles of shit, really. Pardon my French, but we are, because people who lament or hark back to the Mourinho days like it wasn't a load of rubbish. I remember doing the videos. I remember from Sevilla to this, for 8 months, a lot of you were like, get him out of my club. So I don't look back. I don't look back and think I wish we'd kept Jose. I don't look back and say I wish we'd kept Van Gaal. I personally made a decision to be Van Gaal out and Jose out, and I stick by that. Just because we're in a worse situation, that's down to bad running of the football club. It's not down to, we should have stayed with those managers. We should have got a proper manager in after Mourinho. We're not making any progress. What does Gomez have to do to get a chance, says John Games Pete? I've got no idea what the situation is with Angel Gomez. I presumed he would be at least part of the squad today. Jesse Lingard starting again. This is more his level, so he'd probably have a good game, to be honest. Look, people like Jesse Lingard, Mason Greenwood, Matic, Martial, Luke Shaw, whoever you want to name, Delo, they should be, Phil Jones, they should be putting in performances of 8 out of 10 today. This is League One football. You should be putting in a decent performance today. What do you make of it? United increasing an offer by 4 million to 46 million instead of the extra 8 million to make it 50 million. Why the haggling over 4 million? Says Salah Ahmed. So this is a story that's coming out about Bruno Fernandes, that United have increased their offer, but it's still below the 50 million that Sporting Lisbon want. There's even rumours that another club might come in. But I do think United will get the Bruno Fernandes deal done. I do think they will. I do. If Maguire gets injured, it is 100% on Ollie, says Lama Lewin. Look, the thing is, Harry Maguire will play on Wednesday against Man City, and he will play again against Wolves on Saturday. Harry Maguire was awful against Burnley. Absolutely terrible. I like Harry Maguire, but he was at fault for both goals. He needs a rest. But since he's got the captaincy, it's like, he'll run through brick walls. That to me in the modern game is not a trait I'm really interested in. He runs through brick walls for us. Great. That'll get him a Player of the Week rating on FIFA, won't it? I mean, you know, running through brick walls. Since when was that a trait of a Manchester United player that we really valued? You know, effort has now become a gold star, whereas putting that shirt on should be inspiration enough for anybody, in my opinion. Okay, we've got a couple of super chats here from Nijal, who says, if I'm Chong or Gomez, I'll be thinking that the manager doesn't trust me against a weak team like that because he is scared to lose. And Tim Z35 says, Ollie is a United fan. He wishes the best for the club. Maybe he's licking Board's ass because he saw on Josie example that confrontation is not working. Maybe he's trying to get time and transfers to fix United. I think you're absolutely spot on, Tim. I think that's exactly what we're seeing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I'm very disappointed, Tobestar9. I'm very disappointed that Angel Gomez is not involved today. I think in a game like this, you want to be shown something that is new. And I think, you know, if Jesse Lingard scores a couple of goals, so what? Like, you've been crap for a year, mate. You know, you've scored a couple of goals against the League One side, so what? Like, oh, give him another chance. You know, if Delot has a good game, well, it's good to have him back. But if Eric Bailly plays like Delot, then that is something useful. I don't know why Eric Bailly's not starting today. You know, these are the games where basically you're looking at Mason Greenwood because he's the only exciting one. Brandon Williams, I know, was not playing. He needed a rest, that's right. But everybody else who's coming into the team today, they've sort of had their chance. And if they do have a good game, so bloody what? You know they're going to let you down in the next one. So I think it's a perfect game to have played Angel Gomez. I really, really do. I would like to have seen Garner or Levitt on the bench as well. But no, we're not. We're seeing this. I think what we've seen this over the last few years as well. Mourinho used to do it. We get to these points where a manager is virtually on the verge of the sack, so they get scared, so they start sticking with the experienced players, but it's the same experienced players that have let these managers down and put them under pressure. So we as fans don't really actually get that entertained. We just get the same old regurgitated crap. So I'm disappointed that Gomez isn't involved today. Do you know if the sources are legit regarding the news about Glazers potentially sacking Woodward? Sorry for being late. Australia get EPL news late, says Josh Sutton. Look, I don't know whether that's true. The Glazers were assisted very much so by Ed Woodward in buying the football club, so they'll always be grateful to him. Whether they should sack him, yes. Whether they would sack him, I'd have to wait and see on that one. I don't think that they would. Tranmere are 21st in League One and Harry Maguire still can't get a rest. It's confusing, says Ross Gallagher. And Matt Rose, Inter have signed and loaned 13 players since Conte joined, over 4 times more than United. Nearly 25% of Inter's transfers, first team United players. We joked on Conte being director of football. We should be renamed to Inept FC. You know what though, I've got to be honest, all the players that Conte has taken, actually I'm quite happy for him to take. I mean, Ashley Young got an assist, didn't he, today? It's a retirement league, that is. It's so slow compared to the Premier League. I think if you go from the Premier League to Inter, you're going to do well. Like, Eriksen's been awful. Let's not talk about United fans. Let me use Eriksen as an example. Eriksen will go to Inter and he'll be brilliant because I like Italian football, but it's slow. It's a lot slower than the Premier League. And when you go from the Premier League to Serie A, you'll instantly go, this is like playing on slow play. I'm a better player. So it doesn't surprise me that Lukaku's done well, that Young's done well. I bet Sanchez will do well when he gets fit. 3-5-2 at the back again. Matic again. Could have tried Levitt. He played one game in an FA Cup. There is no other formation he knows. Sick of this mark, says Ashu. What I would say about the lineup is we think it's going to be a 3-5-2. There could be a little trick in there. It could be that we're playing with, you know, Jones at right back and Delot's a right winger. We could be using Lindelof or Jones in the midfield. We'll have to wait and see. No Laird, Gomez, Garner, Bay versus 65th in England. All right, Den says. Well, yeah, I do agree with you. Boredom Nub says, sack Ollie after the Euros, then bring in Southgate. Mate, I'd rather you have the job than Southgate. I could not put up with Southgate as Manchester United manager. I wouldn't even back him from day one. I wouldn't even give him a chance. I could not put up with Gareth Southgate as Manchester United manager. No, never in a million years. That would make me want to cry, to be honest with you. That would be very, very bad. Sam Rowe says, Solskjaer's team selection and tactics are abysmal. Fitness and medical staff need a shake as well. Michael Walter says, how many players are in the club that staff need to be let go and replaced? Michael, a specific number is very difficult, but I still think we've got 7 players that I would be looking to move out very, very quickly. Matic, Mata, Lingard, Jones, definitely those 4. Young's already gone, actually, hasn't he, to be fair. I think Pereira needs to go as well. I do. I think he's not had the season I thought he was going to have. I think he's never going to hit the heights we want him to. So Pereira would go. That's 5. Rojo's got to go. 6. And number 7. Well, we've still got Smalling and Sanchez on our books, you know. So Sanchez has got to go. I don't know how we're going to do that. That's got to be done as well. If United lose, I'll leave no rock left to hide under for Ollie, says Tube. Tubar 24. Hello from Australia, says Michael. And Mark, which current United players would Poch improve, says Shaka Phillips. Well, look, I mean, that's such a hypothetical question, Shaka. I wouldn't even use Poch as the example. I would say what good manager would improve Manchester United as a whole, and I would say quite a lot. I mean, whatever you say, and I think we will win today, I think what we've learnt over this last year is that the coaching is inadequate and the whole football club is inadequate. But if you had a world-class coach, would he improve United? Well, straight away, I think if we had a world-class coach, we would have we would see a vision. We would see a philosophy. Probably wouldn't happen straight away because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But we would start to see game to game how we're trying to play. And like I say, if you drop Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola or Brendan Rodgers in charge of Manchester United today, you will straight away start to see that's their style of play, that's their formation, that's what they're trying to do. We don't see that. I think that's one of my biggest frustrations with United is we just don't see a style of play. We just see this we see counter-attacking football, which for me is not a style of football. It's not a philosophy. Counter-attacking football is not a style of football and it's not a philosophy because, and a lot of people will say, well, it is because on FIFA you can play counter-attacking, but for me, it's a style of football or a philosophy is something you go into a game to try and implement. Counter-attacking football is dependent on the opposition. So whilst some might say, well, it's a style of football, it's not something that you control. Counter-attacking football is not dictated to by you. Because if you play a team that a part of the bus team, counter-attack football doesn't work because they're not attacking you, they're sitting back. So I think under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we've seen, certainly this season, an absolute obsession and fixation on counter-attacking football. But that's not a style of football, because you're not taking the game to somebody. Whereas sometimes, like today, we will have to take the game. Like second half against Burnley, we couldn't counter-attack against Burnley because they were doing that to us. So we end up going side to side to side from one side of their box to the other because we can't create. So the only way we were going to score against Burnley on Wednesday in that second half was by shooting from the edge of the box, which we're crap at. So I think that if you did bring a different manager in with a philosophy, we would start to see a different brand of football. Do you think the players starting could be just as alienated as the youth who aren't because it looks like Ollie doesn't care about their fitness, says Big BGG? I think this game today is going to be very interesting in relation to how, and the kickoff is at 3:00. A few people asking. I think it's going to be very interesting today in relation to Manchester United and in how we respond as a team. Will there be energy in the first 7 minutes, or is this team starting to sink? And I say that because not just Manchester United, you see it at other clubs as well. When a team gets in a run of bad form and a manager's job starts to become on the line, they don't tend to go and turn up in a game and win 4 or 5-0 and play really, really well. You tend to get into a consistent theme of underperforming because heads drop. So it's going to be interesting to see, not only today, because I think we will win today, but it wouldn't surprise me if we didn't. It could be a draw, but I think we will win today. But I think Man City and Wolves are going to be big games as well. Because I just think, rate him or not, I think Marcus Rashford is the... people say we miss Pogba, and we do miss Pogba, but Pogba's been inconsistent in a Manchester United shirt. Marcus Rashford, Manc born and bred, through the youth, he is an inspiration to that team. He is the focal point of that team, and when he's in it, you feel like you've got a chance. We haven't got that, and I just wonder how United will respond to not having that. Ashu says, Mark, do you think having Lukaku instead of no striker after January window would have been better? It was naive to let him go and be in a current situation. I'm really, really pleased that Ashu has asked that question because this is something that, funnily enough, I'll give him a good thing because he's had a bit of stick recently. This is something that Simon Stone was talking about, the BBC journalist, and he's absolutely right, and we've spoken about it a lot on here. So a lot of people say, well, we shouldn't have let Lukaku go. We shouldn't have let Sanchez go. I think it's very important to always try and be honest and play both sides. And the reality is with Lukaku and Sanchez, they wanted to leave Manchester United. This is not about, we shouldn't have let them go. They wanted to go. They basically forced the move. So you can say, would we be in a better situation if we had Lukaku right now? Of course we would. Of course we would. But he wanted to go. And I agree with the club getting rid of him because he wanted to go. So I think that was the right decision. The wrong decision was not to replace him. That's where it went wrong, as far as I'm concerned, in relation to him. Stephen Willocks says, do you think that Poch would be the best pick of the coaches for United? Look, I really do like Brendan Rodgers. I don't think that would ever happen. I like Ten Hag at Ajax. I like Nagelsmann. I do like Laurent Blanc. I've always liked him. We would never get him, but I do quite like him as a coach as well. So there are options out there. But then, somebody mentions Allegri and Southgate, and I get really scared. I do. Woodward not at the game today, according to Simon Stone, possibly sorting the Bruno deal, says Luis Prendi, or possibly just bottling it. He could well be bottling it. And Jordan Such says, why are we starting Maguire and Martial? Don't think Liverpool will start Van Dijk and Mane against Shrewsbury later. It is clear to see Ollie knows the writing was on the wall for him. Well, I think it's quite funny, Jordan, isn't it? Because I don't know whether you were watching from the start, and we went live about 5 minutes before the team news came out, and I was asking everybody, personally I would have rested Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Martial and Fred. But I said, I doubt he will do because he's playing for his job, isn't he? And what has he done? He's left Wan-Bissaka out altogether. He's left Fred out as well. But Martial and Maguire start. It's a dodgy pitch, and we could pick up injuries. Pick up injuries. It's a risk. It's a risk I don't think he needed to take. Back four with Jones at right back and Delo right midfield, I hope, says Duncan Sal. Yeah, it could be. We'll change it once we know if that's the case. And I want to see Graham Potter in at United, says Rasmu Malmgren. Good manager. He's done very well at Brighton, but I don't think United would go for a manager like that. And would have loved a back chain with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Twansibi, Bay and Young. Once, okay, we're not going to say that. Jonak, we don't need to make comments like that. And hope Delo plays well, Ewan Wickers says. The pitch plus Phil Jones is a recipe for disaster. It says PAVFC. And if we pick up injuries, we sack Ollie, says Wenzel Dube. I don't think Ollie's anywhere near being sacked. I mean, I think we will win today. But do you think that if we lose or draw, Ollie would be sacked? I just don't see it. I don't understand his thinking behind the lineup, says United publisher. Yeah, I don't think you're the only one, to be honest with you. But we will await the starting lineup, of course, and see what's going to happen. I am hungover today, by the way. I'm going to be absolutely honest about that and say I'm hungover today. I've just remembered I haven't done something. So you get this live. Hello everybody, hungover but on the United Stand YouTube channel currently for the Tranmere versus Manchester United match chat. Join us on YouTube now. Very, very odd selections from Ollie. Get over onto YouTube now, United Stand. Hello everybody. I forgot to do it before I went live. You know what? Looking at myself. Looking at myself. Hello everybody. On that just makes me feel even more hungover today. What did I drink last night? Oh, I tell you what. Went down the pub. Was fed up with the FA Cup. Went down the pub with the brother-in-law. Had about 4 pints. Came back. Probably had a couple of cans. And then had 3 rather large gin and tonics. I think I was one more drink. And the great thing is I did turn it down. I think I was one more drink away from being absolutely unable to do this stream today, but I think I'm just about okay. I've got a really bad headache. I do feel dehydrated, but I have been eating. Ashu says RP Leipzig have got a good coach and director of football. We could have done that. Southampton bought a German coach with a good philosophy. Poch has been found out in the Premier League. And Josh Sutton says beating Tranmere isn't overly worthy of a celebration considering our squad strength with no future vision, where anything less than a win is a disaster. Yep. It is. Never mind, we will soon have the new spin doctor to lie to us when they make no signings, says Devil of a Red. Look, I wanted to ask you all this one. Where do you think we are at Manchester United at the moment, with 1 week to go in the transfer window? Less than that, actually. 5 days, really. Transfer window closes, I think, at 11 o'clock on Friday night. Do you think we're going to sign anybody? Because I personally think we will sign Bruno Fernandes, and we will also get a player in on loan to play up front. I think those two things will happen. And I think that will appease a lot of United fans. But to me, I'm still going to be angry. I mean, look, if we sign Bruno Fernandes, everyone knows I'm going to be very happy, because I love that player, and I can't believe that he's going to be wearing a Manchester United shirt. It still makes me excited. But the reality is, we've had probably the most busiest January we've had in many years. We've been playing weekend, midweek, all the way through January, and we were doing it in December as well. This club has allowed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United fans to watch a shower of shit week in, week out, and not helped the club or Ollie or the fans by bringing in a player that would have helped us in January to try and save £5 million. It's a disgrace. It is not a football club. It is a business. You cannot. I believe we will sign him. I believe we will sign Bruno Fernandes, but it should have been done a long time ago. The only excuse is they're trying to save a little bit of money. But we're in the season. It's not the summer. We're in season. It's a joke. Bruno won't save United by himself. We need bodies, says Michael Water. Hopefully alive bodies. And Jordan Such says, if we do lose today, surely Ollie has to be sacked. We can't keep letting games pass by, especially when top four is still there for the taking. I could understand keeping him till the end of the season if top four was not in sight. And Alligator says, nothing better to cure a hangover like watching United play 5-3-2 on a war-ravaged pitch in the FA Cup. Cheers. Yeah, don't be doing cheers. It makes me feel sick. United should win an easy, but we all know Man United will make it harder to win. But a win here won't do anything. The real challenge is Man City and Wolves games, says Craig McCullough, Games HD. I think it is, Craig, and I think that's the game that we're all looking forward to, isn't it? Really, that Man City game on Wednesday. I think we've got to show something in that. We're 3-1 down already. I think Ollie would probably take a 2-0 loss now, 5-1 on aggregate. Anything more than that, and it's a disgrace. That's the bad thing about two legs. When the first leg's over, in the second leg, it's about respectability. You do not want to be losing on aggregate like 7-8-1. Do you think Bruno will force the move after the increased higher bid? Also, when our United stand coming to the US, I'd be happy to help organise your trip to New York City, says Matt Ross. We're just awaiting the US tour dates and locations. I say US tour. I'll be stunned if United aren't going on tour to the US this year, because last year we did Asia, didn't we? So it should be the US, and obviously the United stand will be over there at all the games. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. And I can also say exclusively, get it in your diary, actually. He says get it in his diary. I don't want to give you the wrong date here. I'm confirming the location tomorrow with somebody, but if I was to say to you that, God, I'm so hungover. It's not the 24th. I was going to say the 24th, and I was right to check my diary. It's the 26th, Thursday the 26th of March. We will be in. He's coming home. It's coming home. He's coming. Goldbridge coming home. Dublin City. In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty. I'm coming home. Ollie in, board out, says Joe Webster. Yeah, so Thursday the 26th of March in Dublin, we will be having a United stand meet-up. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. 26th of March. And tickets will be free. It's not going to be a ticketed pay for tickets. It will be free. It's a free event. We want to try and keep them free. I think if we do ones in London, we've got to charge a £5 just to cover the bloody cost, because London's so expensive. But I know people in Ireland, and I can get a good bar in central Dublin, so I can. And yeah, we're in Dublin. Would play BC team in the City game, just get it done and go for top four, Europa League and FA Cup, says Hooray. No, you can't play that. You can't get smashed. You can't get smashed against City. He's got to go and get respectability. But maybe this Tranmere game is a dress rehearsal for what's coming against City. I think if we play the 5 at the back today against Tranmere, it means we're doing it against City. And I think that is what's going to happen. I think, in fact, I'm so confident of that brilliant bit of foresight I'm going to tweet it as well. If we play a back five against Tranmere, it's clearly a dress rehearsal for what we're doing against City. Which is a damage limitation thing. But that pitch, it don't look good. It does not look good, that pitch. And I just think, you look at that pitch, I've just seen it there, and you're going to let people like Anthony Martial play on that. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But come see, come ça, you live the price, don't you? You live the price. Andy Milner says on 26th of March it will just be about the time that Liverpool win the league. Well, nothing's going to change that now, is it? You know, are we going to change our plans because Liverpool are going to win the league? It's not on us, is it? It's not on us. 5 at the back, says LHS Views. What the hell is going on? I know. But look, it might not be 5 at the back, but I think I have a theory there. And I would be surprised if I am wrong in relation to that, because I think that is something that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would do. He would think about that game against City and use a game against Tranmere as a situation whereby, oh God, look at that pitch. I think it's almost unplayable. Really. It's atrocious. Really is. And it's not going to get called off anyway. Another annoying thing is, I think we'll win. Of course I think we'll win. But let's also be aware that if we were to draw this game, it's another replay at some point. It's another replay, isn't it? So 5 at the back suits counter-attacking if that's what he wants to do, says Stephen Curtis. Yeah, but you don't counter-attack against Tranmere Rovers. You go and take the game to Tranmere Rovers. We've got to do that today. Lingard will not exist in this game, says Take A Schiller. Well, I think that maybe Jesse Lingard will score today and then they can announce his new contract, because that, I believe, is still coming. Luke Jones makes a very good point about Twansebi. United almost responding to United fans' concerns and confusion about Twansebi. I read something last night, and I don't think I was too drunk when I read it. They said that Twansebi should be back after the winter break, which is that 2 weeks we've got after Wolves. He was expected to be back sooner, but he's had a bit of a setback. That's the only update we've had about Twansebi. So Twansebi should be back for the Chelsea game on the 19th of February. And there is an outside chance that we could have somebody like a McTominay or maybe a Pogba back by then. We certainly need to have those sort of players back for Manchester United. That midfield desperately needs some support, as we've said many a time. So hopefully we will see that, but we will certainly see Twansebi. Paul's just going to join me for a moment as well, just to get a different perspective. Paul, can you hear me?
Yes, mate, you're right.
I'm all right. We're just talking about this team selection. I mean, first of all, I just said there that I reckon it probably is now going to be a back five, because I think he's using it as a dress rehearsal for what he's going to do against Man City on Wednesday.
Yeah, you could be right. I mean, this is Tranmere, let's face it. Back 5, back 4. Doesn't really matter, does it? It's a bit of a training game, which is why I'm surprised there isn't more youth in there, because we get sold this youth is the key, is the future, but we've got no youth coming through in this team against 21st in League One, like Ghana, Gomez. I wanted more from this game, really, but if it's a tactical lead up to the Man City game, then fair play. We should win back 4, back 5, back 2. It doesn't matter, but I don't think he trusts Jones in a 2. I really don't. I think that's one of the reasons why we're doing this. But if that's the case, he's still on a 5-year deal, and we ain't getting rid of him anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know why you'd play 3 centre-backs against Tranmere. It just seems like a waste of a player. And as Mohamed Ismail says, I don't believe I can ever be Ollie out. He just means so much to the club history that I will always protect him and back him. I mean, what would you say to Mohamed about that, Paul? Because I think interesting how some people still have that.
Ollie will always be a legend. He will always be a legend, regardless of what he does. As long as he doesn't monumentally implode and start slagging the fans off, then He'll always be, as a player, he'll always be a legend. He won't wipe that from the history of Manchester United. He cannot. But at the same time, I don't think he's going to be a legend of a manager. So I can't judge him. I can compartmentalise him as a player and him as a manager. Now, him as a manager, I don't think he's the guy. And there's many reasons documented and talked about why he isn't. But as a player, you've got to love the guy. It's a huge part of the treble-winning history of this club, which is a huge medal of honour for Manchester United. So why would you hate the guy? Why would you? As a manager, yeah, but as a player and a person, you just can't. He wants what's best.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he does want what's best, but I just think that you would want what's best for Manchester United, but you probably wouldn't be a very good manager. And the same for me. Well, and I think that's the issue.
Saying Ollie out as a manager doesn't make you less of a Man United fan. It doesn't really make you more of a Man United fan. It just means you care about the club. You care about Ollie as well, but the club supersedes anybody and anything. The club is what we support. We don't support a manager. There was Jose Mourinho supporters who seemed like they supported Jose more than the club.
Hey mate, they still exist.
They still exist. I know they're still going on. But I support the club. At the same time, you can also love Ollie, but want him out. I mean, it's not rocket science. He's not going to be good enough, and I wish him all the best. But I don't think it's going to be what we need, unfortunately.
Interesting super chat here from Josh Sutton. He says, I saw an Instagram video of McTominay walking freely with the caption, "This feels great. Expect him to be named next week by incompetent staff." And Adam Brown says, "Can't believe that it's only De Gea and Wan missing from our last Premier League game. Says a lot about the quality of the squad. What does Gomez have to do?" MC Fudge says, "What happened to Fosu Mensah? This is a perfect game to try him out since he's powerful, tall and fast. Plus he really needs to nail down a position. Fosu Mensah's not fit, to be fair." And Mohammed, but Paul, the big question has been the club gave him the tools to probably be successful at the club as a manager. He's saying, has he given him the tools to be successful as a manager? I mean, what I would say is that on the McTominay thing, he should not be back. But I always felt that McTominay has done this twice now. He got himself back earlier. He was injured at the end of November and he was back earlier than expected. And I think he will be back for that Chelsea game, because I think McTominay, again, he's like Marcus Rashford. We fall into this trap of, oh, look at them, they're proper players, they're proper United players, they're getting themselves back. But is that not just stupidity? Is the player who actually comes back when they're totally ready going to actually offer us more? Because if McTominay gets himself back and then goes and gets a secondary injury, which is what he did, and getting himself back quick last time, I'm sort of tired of the Rashfords and the McTominays of this world getting themselves back quick, because actually they just go and get other injuries. I think we need players fit, and the reality is, I love Rashford and I like McTominay, but all they are doing is enabling Ollie and the board to paper the cracks. If these players get back quick, it'll be like, wow, it's like a new signing, and then it papers the crack of the lack of the striking depth and the midfield.
But Ollie is also attributing to that by his words in his press conferences, which I just don't understand. He can deflect and diffuse rather than answering directly questions put to him by the media, because the media expect diffusion and deflection. But he's given them absolute clickbait headlines every time he speaks. He doesn't need to do that. You listen to Arteta and you listen to Frank Lampard, and they stick to a narrative of football, and they don't deviate from that. And if they get asked about it, they don't talk about it, and they knock it back, whereas Ollie goes into this rhetoric about backing the club and backing the structure, and the Glazers are great and Ed's fantastic and everything's good. Now it's propaganda, and I don't think he's doing himself any favours by doing that, when all he has to do is just shut it down and not say anything. It's very weird, Mark. Very strange comments he's coming out with. I don't understand. I think he's trying to please everybody, and whilst doing so, he's pissing a lot of people off.
Matt Ross says, Mark Ginbridge of the Hungover Stand. I am hungover today. I'm owning it. I am hungover today. So there we go. But just looking at Tranmere there in the pitch, we'll talk about that in a moment. But people might not know a lot about Tranmere. Paul's right. They are right near the bottom of League One. It should be a straightforward win for United, considering the quality of player that we have, he says in inverted commas. But they are, you might not know a lot about Tranmere, They are Poundland Scousers. Well, they are Scousers. They are Scousers. That's Tranmere is in Liverpool. So we are playing Scousers today. So we better not lose. But they are a Poundland Everton. They are a Poundland Everton. I think we can all accept that. Mark, counter-attacking football won't work against City. It took only one game for Pep to work out Ollie. We saw that at Old Trafford. Ollie has got to come up with something different on Wednesday, surely. And Neil O'Callaghan says, United will never get back to the successful club they once were, regardless of who is the manager or what signings come in. Poor leadership will always lead to poor outcomes. I feel sorry for United fans. And I think, Neil, you are absolutely right. I think United are, and many United fans know that, you know, even Bruno Fernandes, who is a dream signing for me, it's not going to make me think, oh, everything's fine, because it's just a drop in the ocean, really. But going back to what Jordan was saying there about counter-attacking football, and you know, you've always been very consistent about your struggles for a sort of philosophy to get behind. You said it under Mourinho as well. I genuinely think that what we're seeing today is a dress rehearsal for what he's going to do on Wednesday. I think we are going to play as many defenders as possible to try and stop City humiliating us. And I don't think he's got any intention of getting back into that game. I don't think he's got any plan of getting back. I think he knows he can't get back in that game. So I think what we're seeing today is an absolute preparation to get as many people behind the ball and try and maybe, nick a 1-0, get a 0-0, only lose 1-0. I think that's what we're looking at.
Do you know what? I think Ollie thinks he can. I think Ollie's of that mindset. He's got the mindset of when he used to play with the team that he used to play with. That's his mindset. But he's applying that mindset to a team which is nowhere near good enough to achieve what they did. So I think Ollie has every intention to win that, come back against Manchester City and throw it in everybody's face. But I just don't think it's possible. I really don't. This counter-attacking football, I saw a very good comment the other day. Do you know United Arena? Fantastic. Twitter page. Yeah. His breakdown of football, when he removes emotion and just looks at it from a certain perspective, is fantastic.
Well, he's a clever guy, isn't he? Just to give him a shout out, because you're right. At United Arena, it's at UTD Arena. And he's really good. I'll let Paul carry on. But also, I think he's like a professor in criminology, because we were talking through DMs. And, I obviously was like, worked for National Crime Agency and stuff like that. So I knew he'd mentioned it. He's mentioned it publicly, so it's not an issue. But actually, he wasn't like in the police or anything like that. He's actually a professor in criminology. So his mindset to breaking things down doesn't surprise me, because he's going to have that sort of problem solving mindset, and it's brilliant.
Analytical.
Yeah,
it's logistical thinking. It's analytical and logistical. You look at, you take emotion out of it, and you look at point to point and where things are going logically and analytically. And I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. Oh no, it's back.
You like me? I'm like.
There was a comment came in, said there's a difference between counter-attacking football and teams that are good on transition. Now, that to me, we're a counter-attacking team because we just wait until that there is a opportunity to run as fast as we can towards the other goal, and hopefully we run faster than the other team. Teams that are good in transition bring other teams on and work in packs to hunt the ball down, get the ball, and then know exactly what the other players are going to do when they transition and where other players are going to be to pass to. We don't do that. That's not us. We haven't got a particular way of playing. As I've always said, Ollie is still trying to figure out his best lineup to beat good teams. He's a year in, Mark. Nothing really points to confidence in Ollie to me. Other people may think different, but to me, it's just. And this. Sorry, one more point. This youth thing's doing my head in. Where is the youth? All this youth we're talking about. If you can answer it, Mark, please do, mate. Because I don't think we've really knocked it out of the park. We've got Williams and Greenwood. Greenwood was a shoe-in. Williams, he's done well. Where's the rest of it?
I'll come back to that, because Tim Whittle says Tranmere are located on the Wirral across the River Mersey from Liverpool. So in the local parlance, they are Wolves and not Scousers. Thank you for that geography lesson, Tim. So they are BTEC Scousers, really, then, aren't they? And Sam A says it's so obvious Ollie has been briefed to always be positive. He seems frightened to say anything negative. Look, he's on the screen now, and I love Ollie, but I must admit I just try not to look at him when he's doing press conferences, because I can't even hear what he's saying. But he does just wind me up at the moment. And that's totally honest. I love the guy, but I think most people would agree his press conferences, his interviews are just highly irritating. But But look, going back to that, I did say, Paul, and we're talking about that in the live comments as well. When I look at that team selection today, it's Mason Greenwood, really. I mean, it's nice to have Delo back, but why is Gomez not playing? Why is like Garner and Levitt not on the bench? I mean, even if we win 5-0 today and Lingard scores 3, what are we going to do? Jesse Lingard's back because he scored a hat-trick against Tranmere Rovers, and yet he's been crap for 2 years. It's like, I don't learn anything from this. And Flex put it perfectly when I was talking to him on the phone this morning. He said, today, Ollie's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. If you win 5-0, everyone just says it's Tranmere. If we play badly, everyone's going to say he's just a crap manager and he's got to go. So I don't think today really tells us anything. I just think it's a banana skin. I think it's a game that we need to win. I think we will win it. But it's not a game where, especially if he's playing 5 at the back. He did say on Friday in his press conference, I'm not going to change my philosophy of what I'm doing. And then in the very next game, he goes to a formation that he really hasn't been using this season. I think he's used it 3 or 4 times. So this is the problem with Ollie. He talks nonsense, to be honest with you. He talks about, I've got a philosophy and I'm going to stick to it. Well, he hasn't got a philosophy. And then today, he's totally changing the way he plays against a League One side. For what I believe is a preparation for City. I think we will see 5 at the back. And I tell you what, if he's going to play 5 at the back more regularly, I would not wait till the end of the season to sack him. I'd get rid of him. I can't stand 5 at the back. I think your centre-backs get... we played 5 at the back against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, and that was when was it Tammy Abraham scored, or was it Batshuayi scored? I can't remember. It was one of the two. Anyway, he flicked on and won his own ball against Maguire and Lindelof, and I just think centre backs, and I've seen Chelsea play a back 5, I've seen Arsenal play a back 5. Centre backs are better in a back 2. They know their jobs. In a back 3, it's too many cooks.
Yeah, and we're playing against a team that won't probably be able to break it. Playing a back 5 against Tranmere and doing well teaches us what? Nothing. It teaches us a back 5 works against the bottom of a League One team, which doesn't mean you can apply. You can, from that mould, you can apply it to a Man City game or any games in the Premier League. So yeah, Flex is right. This is a banana skin, exactly as you said. If we lose, we're going to look stupid. If we win, it's just Tranmere. We should go through anyway. If we win 5-0, it's just Tranmere. We should score 5 goals against them. But we've got to look for being clinical today. Martial needs a goal. The thing is, if we lose, Mark, what do you expect to change? Because I expect nothing to change. I expect Ollie to say, well, it's only the FA Cup. We've still got the league to focus on. I expect the board to say, well, Ollie's still getting backed because it's in our plans. And the fans to go absolutely mental and nothing to come of it. That's the problem. There is no accountability anywhere at the moment. So, this back 5, I don't think... To me, it's not a huge issue. He is trying to out something else. But we need to win convincingly today. We really do.
We do. And just interesting there, I'm just actually tweeting it off my phone. Sam Evans said that Ollie has just said that he wanted to give players a chance today. Who is he giving a chance to? Well, he is giving chances, Paul, isn't he? He's giving a chance to, but he's giving chances to the same old people. Like Lingard starts again. Like,
what the does he need to do to drop Lingard? I know he's got problems. Back at home, he's struggles with his mental health. I understand that, but he seems so fixated on getting Lingard back to his best. And he said the other day, Lingard played reasonably well for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and he said, well, now Lingard's coming back to his best. Oh, he's just a joke, man. If he scores today, Lingard, Ollie will say, well, we're getting Lingard back. He keeps doing this, and it's just not funny because Lingard's dead food, man. He needs to pull his finger out or he needs to go. Simple as that. Because Ashley Young's got more assists for Inter than he has in a year. Give me a break.
Yeah, no. Keep them scoreless. Ollie will praise zonal marking, says Josh Sutton. Mohammed Ismail says, why are you guys so defeatist? We will win this game and turn the tie around on Wednesday. We never die. Come on, United. Mohammed, I would say that if you're saying we're defeatist, you're delusional. He's bottled it with the youth because of how bad the season is going. He's doing a shocking job, but still always mentions youth as a get out, says Robbo FM. I mean, look, you mentioned that, Paul, and let's just have a look in the live comments at this because I like to do this. In the live comments, a year ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was talking about the youth. And he didn't really use the youth. He didn't use the youth in his first, bits, especially towards the end of the season. He didn't use the youth, but he spoke about it all the time. And I said in the summer, he talks about the youth, and he's very clever about that because he's been in a team that used the youth. He was there when the class of '92 was there, and he gets that respect because he's Ollie, a legend. But he doesn't use the youth really. Into this season, in the pre-season, you had Chong, Gomez, and Greenwood playing quite regularly on the tour. Gomez scored a good goal, didn't he? Chong, I think, scored a goal. Greenwood looked really good, and he was like, "These boys are ready. Lukaku and Sanchez are gone, but these boys are ready." And this season, we haven't seen Gomez and Chong really. Nowhere near given the chances that a Lingard's been given or even a Greenwood's been given. And I agree with you, Paul. I mean, but what I want to know from the live comments, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, does he use the youth? Because you could easily say yes, because Greenwood's been given time and Brandon Williams has. And I think you're right. I'm going to ask you about this. I mean, what do you think on that? Because I think Brandon Williams is the one. Greenwood was obvious. Like, if you don't use Greenwood, you're an idiot. He's a mercurial talent. He's coming through the youth setup. Only an idiot wouldn't use him. But Brandon Williams, I'll give fair dues. I didn't see that one coming this season. So I think in that sense, Ollie deserves credit. But I don't think he's gone anywhere near as far as he could have gone. And I don't think what he gives out publicly actually backs up that he uses it that much.
No, well, considering the reason why we got rid of quite a few players and didn't replace them is because we got so much youth coming through, according to Ollie, then it's very counterproductive, isn't it? Because if you get rid of 2 midfielders, 2 attackers, defenders as well, Damian's gone, there's a lot of players that are gone, and your excuse is the youth are coming through and they're going to fill those gaps, and then they don't, and we struggle during a season where everybody else is making an absolute hash of top 4. Then it just proves Ollie wrong. He is wrong. We needed those players, those positions filled. Youth was not going to be it. You can't rely on a bunch of 18, 17-year-olds to drag you through. So I don't think he's come through with that. There's a lot of promises. If you think back to when Ollie took over, how many things he promised, youth coming through. There's so many players here that won't, against Everton, that won't be here next year. Yes, fair enough, but you didn't replace them. We'll be playing fast attacking football. We're not really, are we? We're just a cowardly counter-attacking team. If you're going to be very, very, very hard on Ollie, a lot of the things he's said at the beginning of his reign as manager of Manchester United, he's negated and neglected, and hasn't really come through. Not probably through lack of trying, but it's still, in my eyes, he hasn't really succeeded in a lot of things that he said.
Shaveen says, much as I love Ollie, his coaching has been abysmal, and I think we're going to have a hard time getting in talent. Would top players want to play for Ollie? Maybe a man like Poch is the only way to get top talent in. Red Baron says, Ollie inners have to ask a question to themselves, Ollie or Man United, which one do you prefer? And Sancho Nazim says, why is Ollie playing this lineup against Tranmere when there is a high risk that our first team players will get injured and ruin the rest of the season? Protecting his own backside, I think, Nazim. We have not seen them because they won't sign contracts. Greenwood signed his contract, no hassle, he gets game time, simple. They don't want to be here, says you unlucky, which I think is actually a valid point in relation to Gomez and Chong. And Mohamed Ismail says he's protecting the youth. Playing youth in this side is detrimental to their development. Yeah, but it's detrimental to let 19, 20-year-olds just not play and never get first-team exposure. They should be loaned out. Have you seen Interstellar? Says Glenn Goodwin. I don't think I have.
Good film.
Is it? I don't think I have.
Yeah. Decent. Mahone. Yeah, he's good.
What are you going to go with, Paul, as a score prediction?
4-1.
Oh, be nice, that would. I mean, look, I do agree. I think it's a game within itself, and I would expect us to win it. And if we're going to win it, I'd like us to, really smash them apart, really.
Yeah, as negative, I've been quite negative about the overall picture of Manchester United, but Deleu's playing today. He was the second coming, man. I want to see some things out of him. I want to see some bits. I want to see something that we've been expecting. It's an awful pitch. It's awful for Tranmere as well. It's not going to be easy to play football on, but there's players in there that I want to see. I want to see Luke Shaw have another good performance because I haven't given up on Luke Shaw yet. Below, I want to see him have an absolute blinder. He's got skills. He's got tackers. I want him to have a really good game. Romero, will we see a great performance from him? Does he deserve to take over from De Gea for a couple of games at least? I personally think he does, but that's a whole other show. We're going to look for positives in this game. Will the back five work to be deployed against City? So I think we've got the players to win this easy. Will we? We'll see.
We will see. Also, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. I haven't said it yet. So bottom right hand corner to do that. Subscribe to the United Stand. We're live every match day, match chats, match reaction, fan cams, every night at 8 o'clock. Call-ins. Did one of them on Friday night. Really enjoyed it. Do it Monday night as well. Transfer daily at the moment until Friday when the transfer window closes. And match previews, etc. Lots to get involved in. Subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Fantastic live comments as ever. I mean, just quickly before I let you go, Paul. Playing Lingard over Gomez is unforgivable, says Machine Meta. I think many people agree with that. But 5 days to go in the transfer window. What are you expecting? Are you expecting us to do any business?
It's unforgivable if we don't. I think if we don't do any business, I think this protest is going to ramp up. I don't know what's going to happen on these walkouts, but I think if we don't do any business, when we all know, Ollie knows as well, and Ollie will have to come up with some real fake excuses to cover it up, that we need players. Why do we need McTominay back so badly, who played 15 games last season very well? Now we're relying on him to come back, and we can't wait for him to get him on the pitch. McTominay, he's a Darren Fletcher. I've got a lot of time for the kid, and he's improving, but we need players. We really need 2 or 3 in this window. If we get Bruno Fernandes, then I'll take it. Do you know what, Mark, as well? If we don't get any players this window, we only sign 3 next window. If we get 2 in this window now, we get 3 next window, that's 5. But we can't sign more than 3, especially with the Euros in there. So
no.
I don't even think we're going to get any, mate. Personally, I don't think we're going to get any.
We'll see. I'll get you back on at half time, Paul, but thanks for that. Really appreciate it.
Yep, cheers, mate. See you in a bit. Bye.
Speak to you in a minute. Paul's in one of the moderators. He'll be in the live comments as well. Really good points. Hoping we lose today to press the reset button quicker instead of being in a slump, says Red Baron. Are we at that point? Does anybody agree with Red Baron there? Are we at that point now where you would like to see United lose games to get that reset button? It's coming, isn't it? I think that reset button is coming. And it might not happen for 3 years. I'm not saying it's going to happen even in the summer. But this setup is not the right setup. Whatever we think about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I am a big fan of his for obvious reasons, but not as a manager. I just don't see it. The only hope is that because he is so clearly out of his depth and so clearly inexperienced, does he become experienced and get better and better? And I think that's what United are banking on. But ultimately, I just don't think he is. I just don't think he is good enough. So, at some, are we going to keep sinking? Will we tread water? I don't know. Akash, we say we won't be held to ransom, but we negotiate only when we are the most desperate. We hand over the power ourselves. Same is happening with Bruno Fernandes. As I said, for anybody who's joined us a little bit late, the reason I asked Paul about what he thought would be done this week, I do expect us to sign Bruno Fernandes this week. I think it's taken too long. We needed him 2 weeks ago. He could have been playing against Burnley in the weekend. I think we would have beat them if we'd had that. So that's 3 points cost us already to try and save £5 million. It's ridiculous. Priorities are not on the pitch. They're in the boardroom. And I do think we'll bring a striker in on loan. I've just got a funny feeling we'll do 2 deals this week. God knows what that quality of striker will be. Apparently Cavani has said no to us. Look, if we get Cavani and Bruno Fernandes this week, it would be a big, big help. I don't think we'll get Cavani. I think he will go to Atletico Madrid. But I do think we will get somebody in. And I don't think they will be brought in with any intention that they are here long term. I think they'll be just brought in to just give us a number, really. This number 6 for Tranmere, I don't know anything about Tranmere. I'm going to hold up my hands and say I don't know anything about Tranmere. But this number 6 for Tranmere, he looks quite a big unit. And physically could cause us a few problems, but I tell you what, no jokes, I look at that pitch and I see problems, and it's not just the problems with Martial and Maguire. They're the 2 I'm really worried about because they're first teamers that we desperately need. I'm also worried about the likes of Luke Shaw on a pitch like this. Quite an injury prone player, only just back from injury himself. Against Liverpool he struggled with cramp towards the end. I'm not saying we shouldn't pick Luke Shaw because I think Brandon Williams deserves the rest, but we're off anyway. The game is kicking off. Proper FA Cup tie this. Proper old FA Cup tie. Giant killing a possibility on a terrible pitch. So let's see how it goes. Manchester United away to Tranmere. The pitch is atrocious. Will the quality shine through? It needs to. We need to get this game One in the first half would be nice, yeah. Fred the Red said, we said top 6 and a trophy was a fair season. Already we're Ollie out. The real issue are the Glazers and Ed. They're milking while others are investing. And Henrik Strand says, Ollie's been a head coach manager since 2011. Please stop calling him inexperienced. I mean, at the top level, he's inexperienced. Charlie Rogan says, how far have we fallen? Sat here thinking the best result is to lose, so Ollie goes, and the board has no choice but to get Bruno and a striker in. Well, let's have a look at United here, because Greenwood's playing quite deep there. Get a shot off? No. It's a crap camera angle. It's definitely a 3 at the back, so I'm not going to change the formation. It's definitely as I've got it. But Shaw and Delo are playing very, very far forward, which you would expect against Tranmere. We might sign Luka Jovic on a short-term loan, says Owen. I mean, I'd be very happy with that. I'd be over the moon if we got him. I really, really would. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner, and share the video. There's a share button underneath. You can share it on Twitter. You can share it on Facebook by doing that. And United here on a dreadful pitch. Very close to the pitch, which is a little bit different to Premier League grounds. You really get to... It's almost like, to be fair, it's almost like being at the game, this. Because the camera angle is not what you'd normally get in the Premier League, and it's closer to the pitch. So you can really see when it's over on this side, the movement of the ball better. But a good little run in the box here. And I think it's a corner, or is it a goal kick? It's a corner. Good running by Ferrier there. Had them a little bit worried. But the pitches is horrible. Yeah, I agree, Fear Razor. That pitch, it's not good, is it? Corner here anyway for Tranmere, and these are the opportunities they'll be looking for. Are we zonal marking? Yep, we're zonal marking again. And we've got rid of it that time. Lingard doesn't stop the cross. It's bouncing about a bit in the box. You know, I need to be a bit careful here, Tranmere. Dinky dinky. Matic goes up. Straight at the keeper. Early chance for Tranmere there. Bloody hell. Lingard's got to close that first cross down. Much better than that. But a bit of a chance there for Tranmere. Bloody hell. And they're up for a fight here, Tranmere. Which they will be. Of course they will. Fitness in the second half should come into play for us. You know what? I'm not 100% sure. I think Lindelof might be playing at a right back. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Phil Jones is giving a foul away here, and he's got muddy. Look at, he's crapped himself. Look, he looks like he's thrown up poo. Phil, look at, you're all muddy. Look at that, Phil. That's the pitch for you. Horrible. Look at it. You've ruined your kit. He's wearing red boots. It's the red boots. He's wearing red boots today. Cheeky sod. It's on BT over here. So United can see... Yellow card? What? I didn't think that was a yellow card for Phil Jones there. What's all that about? It's a bit of a harsh yellow for Phil. It's been booked. I thought that was a bit of a harsh yellow card. Anyway, we certainly haven't started off well because we're inviting these crosses into the box for Tranmere. And Romero's easy catching practice there. Fitness in the second half. Mark, if you've been watching United this season, says apathetic gamer. Well, I'm watching United at the moment and they're playing absolutely crap, to be honest with you. Terrible start. I actually hope we do bad on this match so that Ollie gets sacked, says Jamie Inglis. I mean, I don't think he'll get sacked if we lose anyway. Poor start from United, though. Really bad start. You've got to put your hands up and say that. It's not negative. It's a crap start. Let's have a look at some of the super chats as well. I think we've had a couple. Phil's mum is going to have a busy day washing that off, says Timmy H. I think Eric Bay would have been perfect for this game. He likes a battle. Here's a chance for United. Greenwood. Oh, well defended there. Really strong. Matic picks it up. Quality in the final third from United is important today. Harry Maguire bringing it forward. Have a shot. Luke Shaw to Martial. Good bit of skill by Martial. Lingard doesn't get hold of it. Glad I cancelled my BT Sports because I couldn't live with myself. I had to pay to watch Lingard and Andreas play over Garner and Gomez again. Says Dane Summer. Oh, Lindelof's been turned in the box there. And Phil Jones has hurt himself now. Oh no, I hope he's not injured. Yellow card and off injured after 6 minutes. That would be the sort of 6 minute cameo you come to expect from Phil Jones. But Lindelof got turned. You know what? I think we might be playing a 4. It's hard to say. It's like a 4-4-2, isn't it? But no, it's not a 4-4-2. It's a weird one. I can't get my head around this formation. To me, it looks like Lindelof is playing at right back, which means Delo's playing on the right wing, but Lindelof's playing very central, and so is Pereira and Matic. So Phil Jones is going to play on. I like your Photoshop photo of Sir Philip Jones in the pink Lambo on Twitter, says Roy Keane, simply the best. I know, I did that. You see the little pink boots hanging down. Oi mate, Jones is a mess, take him off, says Smith Jones. I might be able to show you this. The wonders of live technology, I might even be able to show you. I can! There it is, look. Phil Jones, and he's even got his little pink boot dice. Not dice, he's got pink boots, look. There you go. It's not really a pink car, it's yellow. But we changed the colour to pink because it looks better. And then we added a couple of boots. Pink boots is his thing. So, yeah, it's good at it. Good at it. Anyway, crap start by United. But we've picked the ball up here with Delo. Lingard loses a 50-50. What a surprise. No, it's Pereira, actually. 15, not 14. And Tranmere enjoying themselves at the moment. Cross comes in. Corner ball. Awful start by United. Let's be honest. This is awful. Crap start by United. I mean, we spoke about this before the game, though, didn't we? Would United start the game with their heads dropping a little bit? And at the moment, they have started like that. Really looking nervous. Delo's been skinned there. Pereira's got in the way and it's gone to Romero. Jones in the mud, says Jaden Beckham. I'll tell you what I like about Matic, and I'm not a fan of Matic, but I like the way he's playing a lot more forward passes. Lingard, not even good enough for this level, says O'Shane 1. Luke Shaw coming forward here. And Greenwood has gone out for a throw-in. They've already had 4 shots, says Simo Osprey. I mean, look, I do ultimately think we're going to win this game. But not a very good start from United. There should be, at some point, quality's got to come through. But that pitch is awful. It's really awful. It's, I've got to be honest. Like, at the end of the game, no matter what the score, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is absolutely justified to say that pitch was awful. Mark, will you, Ollie, use the pitch as an excuse if he loses to Zayn Miassi? Well, I've just used it as an excuse there. Harry Maguire, it's in! Oh, what a goal! I thought it went over the bar. Harry Maguire, what a hit! What a hit! Cuts inside, edge of the box, and absolutely smashes it off. What a hit! Oh, my life! I tell you what, I ain't seen a finish like that since Undertaker in WrestleMania Tombstone Jimmy Snuka. That was absolutely rocket shit. That was unbelievable. He absolutely smashes it. And I don't know whether it gets a deflection, actually. Let me just have a look. If it gets a deflection, then there's nothing that the keeper can do. Yeah, it goes off. To be fair, I'll take a point off that one because it does go off the head of the defender and it makes it unsavable for the goalkeeper. It's a little bit of a... But it's his first goal and it's not with his head. Hurrah, Sir Harry. Prince Harry. We need one of them. But, yeah, it's 1-0 to Manchester United out of the blue. But if you don't buy a lottery ticket, you don't win the lottery. And Manchester United are 1-0 up with a rocket of a goal from Harry Maguire. And exactly what we needed, really, to settle the nerves in what has been not a great start for United. But what a hit. It did deflect, I've got to be fair. You've got to be fair. Anyway, cross coming in here. Romero punches. He doesn't like catching under pressure, Romero. Let's just change the score. But that's exactly what United needed in this game. And Ollie's, look at him now. He thinks he's won the bloody Premier League. Look at him. He's well happy now. He's stood up and he's going, yay. Ollie's at the wheel. I think he'll start singing it himself. So Harry Maguire scored his first goal. And to be honest, that is leadership. You need a bit of that. And he didn't half hit it. Deflected off the... Wasn't the goal I thought it was, to be fair. I thought he'd hit it clean, but it does go off the head. Makes it unsavable for the keeper, but it's still a great goal. Bang, back of the net, says Joseph Woodbury. And slab head, more like slab cleats, says Mr. Glenn Johnson. Should settle the nerves a bit for United, that though. Should settle the nerves a bit. 1-0 to Manchester United. Tranmere starting off quite well. United starting off really bad. But Harry Maguire taking the initiative, and maybe that's the sort of thing Harry Maguire needs. You know, I think confidence is a big thing. He's got that captain's armband on, and confidence is massive in football. And United lead 1-0. We could, a bit of breathing space here for United now. Just take your time. You've got calm down. You've got that goal cushion. You let the quality come in. Let the fitness come through. Here's Delo. Oh, what a hit! Delo, that's world class. That's Manchester United 2-0, and it's cruise control now. 12 minutes in. Diogo Delo, absolutely brilliant. Phil Jones and Ollie are having an argument, but that's brilliant by Delo. It really is. Absolutely brilliant. Comes in from the right-hand side. Bit of skill. Low finish. Quality. And Tranmere look crestfallen, and the quality has come through. And you would almost say that's game over for United, for Tranmere now. Nice little overlap. Martial, and a lovely finish. Bit of skill. Lovely finish. That's a quality action by Delo. It really is a quality action. 2-0 Manchester United. 2-0 the goal scorer. Number 20. Lovely finish. 2-0. Absolutely superb by Delo. Absolutely superb. I've got to tweet it. Game over already. Get in the bin, you B-Tech Scousers. Lovely stuff. No, this is exactly... I want to thank United. I want to thank Manchester United players today for making this an easy stream, because I'm really hungover today. I didn't want to be having headaches and shouting about crap defending and conceding goals. So we want 6. We want 6. And I think Tranmere now, confidence should start to flow through the Manchester United side, and Tranmere hopefully will bottle it, and we could get loads of goals on a hard pitch. Is Mike Dean in the stands as Fitness Unscripted Sarath? I don't know. Martial here on the attack. Be nice to see Anthony Martial getting a couple of goals today. Well, good hold-up play there by Martial. 15 gone. 2-0 to Manchester United. Easy work. What were we worried about? Already people are saying Delo for right wing because he's scored a goal against a shit League One side. You can't beat the flippance of the modern football fan, can you? Delo scores a good goal against Tranmere Rovers and suddenly he solves our right wing issues. Yeah, cracking idea that is. Let's see if he can do it against a decent team first. Now, next we want to see Jesse Lingard score. That would really be good to see. Our defenders have got a virus. It's called the goal scoring virus. Eat that, Tranmere, says Nick P. And doesn't make Mike Dean support this club, says Fitness and Scripture Sharath Kamath. Oh, yes, you're right. Oh, I've seen him before with the celebrating. You're right, yeah. Tranmere have actually had more shots on goal than us in this game. They've had three attempts to our 2. Lingard! 3-0! Jesse Lingard, I told you! I've just said! How crap are they? Look at him, he's loving that. He thinks he's back. He's back. I've scored against Tranmere, but it is a good finish by Lingard. One of those days for Tranmere. How shit are Tranmere? 3-0 down, and Jesse Lingard scores. But it's a good goal. They're awful. I mean, it's a good... I don't want to take anything away because Delow's goal was good. And so was Lingard's, to be fair. But they're really bad. They're really bad. It's almost... What else can you do on a Sunday afternoon? Like, can we go for a walk together? Shall I do a live walk or something? I mean, it's just crap, isn't it? I mean, I'm almost like, yeah, this is now... So it's game over, isn't it? It's game over. I'm a little bit sad. I mean, I want to win, but you want a bit of interest, don't you? I mean, unless we hammer them like 10-0, I'd like to see us do that. I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. Game over. 3-0. Jesse Lingard. I pity them, say people in the live comments. Yeah, he did do his little celebration. I can't do it. Something like that, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's got his own... I imagine it's something like that. Is it like that? Good finish, but awful defending by Tranmere. Their heads are gone, I think. 3-0 down. We've not even had 20 minutes. Oh! Jesse Lingard's back. Harry Maguire's made a mistake here. It's Phil Jones up against their defender. Awful. How crap are they? How crap are they? Will we see a 58-minute walkout by United fans, says Red Devil Fighting? I don't think that was ever planned for today, by the way. I think that was all about tomorrow. Anyway, we're winning a game. Manchester United we've won a game. Please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. It's going to be a lovely Sunday afternoon. I'm hungover to shit, and I think the lads realised Goldbridge is hungover. We've got to make it a nice, easy, pleasant ride, and we have. Harry Maguire's goal was good. Delow's goal was even better. And Lingard's goal, probably not the pick of the bunch, but I think it was probably better than Maguire's, to be fair. But Tranmere, how did Watford lose to these? I know they put their reserves out, but how can you say Ollie at the wheel, says Shaky Jakey. I haven't said Ollie at the wheel. We want to see some goals from Anthony Martial and Greenwood as well. Here is Martial. Oh, over the bar. Warning that Tranmere were behind by 3 goals to Watford and managed to equalise and force a replay, says Tim Whittle. I don't think that's going to happen today. United aren't a team that concedes 3 goals. This better not be an excuse to play Lingard, says Big Boy Benny. Oh, mate. Look, I'm relaxed about that. I think Manchester United, they've got a new contract in the pipeline for Lingard. I think they've been waiting for him to score it. Probably get announced this week. And Ollie wants to pick Lingard. So, he's his boy, isn't it? This is his new contract sorted out, says Jordan Such. Yeah. And SK, welcome, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Lingard scoring, contract announcement, I guess, tomorrow, says Daniel Brindley. Tranmere into the box. And he's got a good shot there. I mean, they have been a threat on the break. I mean, that's poor defending by Jones again, but he is on a yellow card. I think we'll be talking about our favourite flavour of crisps soon because we've only had 20 minutes. It's game over. How do Tranmere play on that pitch every game? Get off the first teamers at half time, says 6782 Anthony. I mean, that's a very good point. That's a very good point by Anthony. I do think we need to be protecting some of our players on this pitch. I appreciate you and the entire United Stand family. Cheers from LA. Hopefully Martial and Greenwood will score, and maybe even Phil Jones will score too, says James Kang. And Callum Sheriffs, aka Glory to Aberdeen, is the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Welcome, pal. Ollie's found his managerial level, League One, says the Red Devil. Well, FA Cup 5th round is at the start of March, and all games are being played midweek. And I think this is to facilitate us having this new winter break. So, Martial? No, he's not going to shoot from there. Greenwood? Lingard? That's crap. But he's already scored. Don't worry. You've already scored. I'm not going to sing the song, don't worry. Amount of people messaging me saying Simon Stone just talking about Angel Gomez says he travelled to Tranmere with Man United today but not picked. I'm told suggestions he was sent home from training are not true. And then somebody on Twitter is saying that he's been told that Gomez is off to Portugal and Chong is going to go to Italy. So we're going to lose both of them. That's bloody embarrassing, isn't it? But there we go. Oh, God, I'm so hungover. I'm so glad this has been an easy ride so far. I did not want anything else. Hey, you're right, Addy Khan 992. The pitch does look like a 1970s game. Greenwood. Oh, good block. I think Tranmere are the worst team we've played this season. You know, when we played Rochdale, I thought they were well organised and a decent team. But Tranmere, maybe, to be fair to Tranmere, they did play on Thursday. What meat are you having for your roast dinner, says Josh Boward. I've already had it, mate. I had gammon. This does not give me great hope for Shrewsbury versus Liverpool, says the Royal Mail. And Jackson Humphrey says Woodward will back out of the Bruno deal now that after that Lingard goal. He bloody better not. I'll tell you what, it'd be good if we played in League One though. We'd probably win the league. This is like Man City and Liverpool in the Premier League, but if we played in League One, we'd just dominate teams. It'd be great. Lots of goals. I think Tranmere on the attack have looked quite good, to be honest. It's just that defensively they're awful. Lindelof keeps it in. Welcome to SK and... I've done that as well. Okay, that's fine. Joseph Moriarty says, everyone needs to calm down. It's only Tranmere Rovers. We'll see next week against Man City and Wolves. Oh, yeah, cool. I think we said this before the game. I'm not going to take credit. Flex said it, and I'm sure a lot of you would agree. Ollie's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't today. That's poor defending by Delo. I tell you what, he scored a good goal going forward, but they are getting past them a lot. But yeah, Ollie's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. If he wins today, even 6-7-0, people are just going to say, well, it's only Tranmere. Whereas, yeah, he's got that game against Man City on Wednesday. If Old Trafford like this, Park, we would actually win, says Cammy Aitken. And Bjarni Christensen says, Mark, Tranmere Stadium is larger than the Icelandic national team stadium. Nevertheless, we beat England, Holland and Croatia. There you go. If can we play the second half at Old Trafford, please, says Ian Barron. And take some Iron Brew, Mark. Best cure for a hangover, says Final Frontier. I'll tell you what I do. I would like a Coke or something like that. Something sugary. I'm struggling today. Too much drink, you see. It's not a good idea. That's what FA Cup weekend is to me. It's crap. I wouldn't normally go out on a Saturday like that. On the 58th minute, I will walk out of my house, says Kieran Miskell. Make sure you come back. Pereira's going to hit one now. Idiots. That's gone wide. Showing off. To be fair, shoot from distance is good. Prenton Park get a lot of use as Liverpool's women's team use it as their home ground, says Tim Whittle. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We are trying to get up to 643,000 subscribers today. That number will change if we do it. So subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and please share it. United Stand, we're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got Transfer Daily every morning at 7 a.m. this week. We'll obviously be going live for any signings, and I think there will be some this week. We've got a Transfer Deadline Day show on Friday. Match reactions will be live for the Man City game. Fan cams after the game. Lots to get involved in. Love your support. Love the United Stand and what we're doing. And this is nice. You know what? This is nice. It's nice that Lingard scored. It's nice that Harry Maguire's got his first goal. It's nice that Delo's back and scoring a goal. I don't think today's a day to find the negatives. It was never, it is Tranmere Rovers. I accept that, and we've all got to accept that. But we don't get a lot of enjoyment as United fans. And today, I suppose it's a bit like a bank holiday weekend, isn't it? We've got an extra day just to enjoy this. It's not into the next round of the FA Cup. Just enjoy it. I know Tranmere are crap. We've just seen how crap they are defensively, but it's just nice not to be getting stressed out, isn't it? And the way the game started, I was worried a little bit. Ollie looks like he has a rich tea biscuit up his arse, says Rowan77. Have you got experience of what someone with a rich tea biscuit up their arse looks like then? Because I certainly haven't. Funny. But we're enjoying this. It's nice to watch. It's nice to see. And I'm glad to see that us winning. Tranmere on the attack. They did come from 3-0 down against Watford. I don't think they'll be doing it against us today. I don't see it. But it would have been nice to see Gomez play today, yeah. Will the 58th minute walkout achieve anything, says Ryan Hadfield. It won't happen, mate. It won't happen. Some people might walk out, but not what... I think there's a lot of fans on social media who support United, and there's a lot of fans who probably won't be at the game next week, or who are hoping there's going to be this big walkout on the 58th minute. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The organisation of it is just a few people trying to get it off the ground with no support from, the Supporters Trust, from the big Manchester United fan groups who go to games. Nobody's backing it. In fact, a lot of people are saying it's a stupid idea. So it won't happen. And what's going to happen this week is we will actually make a couple of signings, and then the mood will change. You imagine when Bruno Fernandes is holding up a United shirt, no matter how bad we are, people will still get drawn into that. Even I will get drawn into it. I'll be like, oh, he's signing for United. It's great. I can't wait to see him play against Wolves. You think people are going to walk out, 2/3 into a game? Not going to happen. It won't happen. And if it was going to happen, it would need to be organised properly. And if it was going to happen properly, you would need the Manchester United Supporters Trust to be driving that, a proper organisation. Hi Mark, what do you think about playing Delo on the right wing instead of using Mata or Pereira? He's not going to play much on that right back. Kisses, says Louis Dresden. I don't mind Delo playing right wing. I don't think defensively he's very good. I think we've already seen in this game he's got skinned a couple of times by the Tranmere winger. So I don't mind him playing as a right winger. But I think the formation today has almost been a bit like a... I'm going to change it actually on the screen. Let me change it so it's a bit more accurate. I've been meaning to do that for a little while, and we are 3-0 up. So let's just... Oh no. What have I done? Didn't want to do that. Let me change this formation a bit here. So Matic there. Below. Let me change this for you. See if you agree with this. You better do, because I'm not changing it back, and it's my opinion. But I feel that our formation today is more like the one I've got on the screen here. Tranmere on the attack. Phil Jones cuts it out, and that'll be a throw-in. So Delo is playing very, very far forward. Luke Shaw's playing forward, and Matic is playing as the holding midfielder with Lindelof very much far to the right. And Lingard and Pereira almost playing as a midfield too, but pushing forward at last. Delo is Portuguese. No, says Raza Gul. Yes, he is. He's Portuguese. Pitch is very small, says Kyle Robbs. Yep. And Ollie at the wheel. Ollie at the wheel, says Roma Dude. Yeah, it is like a 3-5-2 today. Yeah. I think we've had this argument before of what's a 5-3-2 and what's a 3-5-2. I think against Liverpool it was a 5-3-2 because we played 5 at the back more than we did 5 in the midfield. But against Tranmere, you're not going to sit with 5 at the back, are you? You know, Delo and Shaw have got lots of licence to get forward. So I think against Man City we will play like this, and I think against Man City you'll see a 5. I think it'll be more of a 5-3-2 than it is a 3. And someone's offside there. Maguire is the left centre-back, Christian, you're right. Can I be asked to change it? I can. I'll change it for you. I would like to see not Jesse Lingard. I would like to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer making some subs in this game. I think it's really important that he gets people like Harry Maguire off and Anthony Martial off, because they're first teamers we can't afford to lose. This game is won. You don't take them off before half time, that would be silly, but at half time I would be looking to take them off. Tranmere on the attack. Cross comes in. Well down by Matic. When's the FA Cup draw, everybody? Is it tomorrow night before the Arsenal-Bournemouth game? We're doing great, says Amritz. Yeah, I think we should give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a new 5-year contract. Shaw's got acres of space. Oh, Lingard. You see, that's what I mean about Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw. They should have way more assists than they do. That was look at this cross by Luke Shaw. It's a tap in for Lingard, and he miss-hits it. I mean, the pitch might be to blame for that, but like Wan-Bissaka the other night against Burnley, he could have had 2 assists. He should have had 2 assists today. Luke Shaw should have had an assist. And you get people like Rance saying, "Oh, Luke Shaw gets no assists." There's a lot of time that our fullbacks put decent crosses into the box and people mess the chances up. Sinu says at half-time I'd get Chong, Bailly and James on. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Phil Jones will end the game. 90% mud, says Nick P. Martial into the box. No penalty. More of a shoulder barge. 10 minutes to go to half-time. I don't think you're ever going to get a penalty for that. Shoulder across. It's nice to watch United match and not feel depressed, says John 2G66. And Bar Wan-Bissaka, this is our A team. It's embarrassing, says Biggie Third. Well, it's not, is it? Because Fred's not playing and Dan James isn't playing. And De Gea's not playing. So you could argue that 3 or 4 players are not playing that normally would. Foul on Luke Shaw there. There is rumours Mohammed bin Salman will buy Newcastle. What are your thoughts? Says Smashhurst. Well, why should they buy Manchester United? I mean, it was only ever a rumour. I'll tell you what will happen though, if Newcastle get bought by the Saudis, they're going to suddenly get a load of money, and that's another team that's going to go past us in the next few years. So I would be concerned about any club in the Premier League that's not got money at the moment getting money, because it's just another opportunity for them to spend a lot of money. I wish you were not hungover. Could have done Juve versus Napoli watch along. Says Fitness Unscripted Sharath Kamal. Mate, I just want to get this done, and I just want to get this done, and then I just want to get my match reaction done, get the fan cams up, getting a nice bath. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what I want to do really, but yeah, I'm looking forward to a relaxing evening. It's not nice being hungover. It's draining. It's almost like having man flu. But anyway, more goals please, says Al Hujar Gadasi. What's going on with Bruno, says Thomas Adams. I think we will sign Bruno Fernandes this week. I do, yeah. Latest on Bruno, Mark. I pray not long left, says Busternet. Well, Friday is the deadline, so we've got to get it done. I mean, the latest on Bruno Fernandes is that we've offered 42 million, but now that Sporting Lisbon want 50, because that's what they've always wanted, and that United have upped their bid to 46. I mean, he's worth 50 million. Just pay the bloody 50. But I tell you what it does do. It kills these rubbish rumour lies that have been going out, probably from United, that Sporting Lisbon wanted 80 million. God, the ball just landed there and didn't bounce at all. It just landed in a mud and just stopped in front of Luke Shaw. There's no bounce. But United have adjusted to the pitch quite well. Of course they have, because they're winning 3-0. Oh, little flick by Martial there. But it's been easy. It's been easy for United. I think that's important in relation to injuries, etc. They've not had to battle as hard as they maybe thought they would. The goals have individually been all really well taken. Do we have any chance of top 4 marks, as Daniel William Daly? Well, do you lot think we've got any chance? Yes or no, top 4? Get in the live comments, yes or no. Have United got a chance of top 4? For me, the logical answer is yes, because Chelsea have lost 8 games and they could lose a lot more. And we're playing Chelsea in a couple of weeks. But we shouldn't get top 4. No, we shouldn't get top 4. But if you get Bruno Fernandes in and you get, McTominay back and maybe Pogba back, and we get a lone striker in, these things all improve us. But I don't expect United to get top 4. I think the Europa League is our best bet. You just put James in our team. Do you rate him? Smith Jones. I think Dan James needs a break, but I think he is considered a first teamer by Ollie. A lot of people saying we won't get top 4, not with Ollie, says David JS. So yeah, but I think we're going to be, I think Chelsea will open the door again on top 4. United got a corner here. Who's taking it? Pereira? No. Tranmere ain't that crap. They ain't going to concede a corner to us. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're trying to get up to 643,000 subscribers today. Tranmere has created a lot of decent chances to Sohan Mukherjee. Yeah, there's just the quality in the goal. Why aren't we looking at Paco? He's young, says HDD. Here's Lingard in the box. Lays it off. Matic, I would have hit that on my left foot. Mark, Ollie needs to show no emotion on the pitch, says Sati Singh. And Lorraine Lowe says we've got no chance of top 4. Big Draco says breaking news, and this is a joke. He says breaking news: United withdraw bid for Bruno Fernandes and Lingard signs a new 5-year contract. Matic. Oh, another corner for United here. Right, can we get a corner in the net this time? That looks like a foul on Harry Maguire there. Why is the ref not even looking? goal! Phil Jones! I'm in another parallel universe. I'm in a parallel universe. Jesse Lingard, Phil Jones, Harry Maguire. What's going on? What's going on? Phil Jones has scored a header. You never thought this could happen. Lingard and Jones score in the same match. I tell you what, it's a good header as well by Phil Jones. It's crap defending by Tranmere, but you can't take it away from the lad. It's a good goal. It's the red boots. It's the red boots. He's wearing red. He's got mud on his shirt. In the dirt. Rises high. Heads it home. He loves it. He's found his level. Look at him. He's well happy. And I'm happy for him as well. He's taken a lot of crap from us as well. As fans, we do. And me. But fair play to the lad. He scored 4-0. 4-0 to Manchester United. Who thought we would... I'm just... As I said, I can't thank the lads enough. I'm hungover. I didn't want to be moaning today. I didn't want to be, having to go through the normal United routine. So... Well done to them. I think second half, it's a shame there's no Gomez. It's a shame there's no Gomez today, because it would have been nice to see him coming on second half in a game like this, but we're not going to get to see that, are we? We want 5, it says Football Judge. We do. We absolutely do. Phil Jones. I've got to tweet out. It's what if Bruno fails in the Premier League? They're on the second, says Pete Jowett. Well, anybody can fail. Of course they can. And Ollie talks about youth letting Chong and Gomez leave, says Soham Makaji. Oh, look, mate, this game is just it's a free hit, isn't it? It's enjoyable, but it doesn't change anything. Oh, we beat Tranmere for 7-0, 8-0, whatever the score's going to be. It doesn't mean that these players are any good, and it doesn't mean that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's any good. They're a relegation League One side. They're awful. We can all see that. But it's just nice to have a break, isn't it? It's nice to see United score a few goals. It's nice to, it's like Phil Jones and Jesse Lingard scoring a goal. It's some of our players are finding their level, and it's nice to see. But Tranmere are awful. They're going to probably be in League 2 next season, as I said. If you there's United fans are educated people. You're not going to see United fans saying this is the start or something. We've got Man City on Wednesday, so we've just lost to Burnley and Liverpool. They're the games that really matter when you're playing quality teams. So I just think it's a nice little thing to watch. Our players, you can mock Phil Jones and Jesse Lingard, but individually their wage is going to be more than double the entire Tranmere team. So Tranmere fans will give standing ovation for Seville, says Philip Cronstead. Would you rather take Smalling back from loan and sell Jones? What player is better, says Stuart Marson. And Sir Philip from the House of Jones in the house, says Rupin. I just think it's nice when things like that happen, isn't it? But it just shows you what a banter team Tranmere are, that they're letting people like Lingard and Phil Jones score against them. I mean, Lingard hasn't scored in a year, I don't think. I think the last time he scored was it the FA Cup against Arsenal. So I said it when we got Tranmere. It's a buy into the next round, and United have took advantage of that. But I do think at half time he's got to make a couple of substitutions, because I do not want to see an Anthony Martial or a Harry Maguire getting injured in this game. Martial. I want to see Martial and Greenwood get a goal, actually. We've got 4 goals. Who would have said that? 5! Anthony Martial deflects in. This is getting silly. 5-star Anthony Martial, a bit like Harry Maguire's goal. It deflects off the defender and in. It's easy peasy now. 5-0. Tranmere are in the mud. They are in the mud. As I would call it, they're in the slurry because they're shit. But Martial here, he just picks it up on the edge of the box, and he's got time to shoot. That's the quality of Tranmere Rovers. Like, this is on the edge of their box, and how many touches? I mean, Martial's got time to take a shot. They don't close shots down. They didn't close Harry Maguire down. They didn't close Lingard down. They didn't close Delo down. They didn't close Martial down. They're awful, but we're benefiting from this. It's 5-0, and it's only just about to be half time, and Anthony Martial's got his goal. And Tranmere Rovers are being embarrassed by Manchester United, by their own awful defending. And I tell you what, we should be going for 10. Ollie will be like, I can keep my job forever if I win 10-0. What I'd like to say it's a great hangover cure, but I'm not. I'm still hungover. $5-0 at half time. And it's safe to say some of our players have found their level. But you can only beat what's in front of you. Zane's not here spending money. Wonder why, says the Red Devil. Yeah, there'll be a lot of people not watching today because we are comfortable and we're not there to be laughed at for once. But that's half time. Let me just stop the clock and say this. What a brilliant day of... What a brilliant day. Can I just shock you and say I love the FA Cup? I don't love the FA Cup. I think it's a dodgy tournament, to be honest. But we've taken it seriously today. I think United, you could argue United have only dropped 2, maybe 3 of their first teamers. He's took it serious against the Tranmere team on a dodgy pitch who are relegation fodder from League One. And they've looked like relegation fodder from League One. United, I wouldn't even say clinical. I think Delo and Lingard's finishing was clinical, but the Phil Jones header, that's just poor defending. The Harry Maguire goal, it's a good hit, but it deflects, it's poor defending. Martial, poor defending. Lingard's poor defending. I'm not taking anything away from the United lads, but they've got time to look up and shoot on every shot. You don't get that at a decent level of football. Tranmere's defence is awful, absolutely awful. I can't believe how many times they've stood offers, but United totally deserve to be 5-0 up at half-time. As I said, I'm hungover today, so I'm absolutely ecstatic that we're just getting an easy result like that. The pitch is a nightmare, and I think from United's point of view, that is perfect for us. We've not had to battle. We've not been stressed. I think the first few minutes, Tranmere looked decent, but as soon as Harry Maguire scored that goal, I think we saw where the weakness was with them. Around the edge of the box, they stand off, you shoot. Lingard's finish was clean. Delo's finish was clean. Maguire's deflected a bit. Martial's deflected a bit. And Phil Jones scores from a corner. And I think when you have a day where United are winning 5-0 at half-time and your goal scorers are Harry Maguire, Jesse Lingard and Phil Jones, you know you're playing somebody not that good. But don't take anything away from the lads. This is what I always say when you're playing a team. I said it against Rochdale a few months ago. Our lads are on minimum 70 grand a week today. Like, that's their wage. 70 grand a week, Premier League players for Manchester United, playing against what effectively are, the dregs of English football. And that is insulting, but what I'm trying to say is show you the gap in ability, wage, and they're poles apart. And I think what you should see in a game like this is every one of our players should be getting 8 out of 10 as a player rating because the quality of the opposition is so different to them. And I think we've seen that. Phil Jones has looked decent. Jesse Lingard has looked decent. These are players that, when they play in the Premier League, they look inadequate. But against a team like this, you can see why they're footballers. They've played well. So United have really blown Tranmere away and shown the difference in quality between a Premier League side and a League One side, and they've made it easy work. What Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to do in the second half for me is get Martial and Maguire off. These are first teamers that we can't afford to get injured. I would even say maybe Matic if we can do it, because he's done well as well again. We can't afford to lose these players, so I would take them off. That game is won, and rest them for Wednesday as well. So, triple substitution at half time hopefully. Least we know Lingard and Jones level at football, says John G. I knew there'd be people saying that. Fitness and scripted, Sharathka Masters. I've never been more excited for Ollie's press conference. We will learn if he's like us or he's deluded. And Craig Kalani says, everyone gets a goal. Shaw and Greenwood next. I know Tranmere sucks, but it's great to see this. Wish the lads played with this much confidence in the Premier League. Wish they played like this all the time. Craig, I know you're saying that tongue in cheek, but you can't transfer this to the Premier League. You can't. Premier League defenders aren't going to stand away 5 yards off you and let you pick your spot from a shot. Harry Maguire has time to cut in and shoot. Lingard has time to pick his spot. Martial takes 2 touches, looks up and then shoots. You know, even a championship side's going to close you down. You can't transfer this play to the Premier League. We're not winning because we're carving Tranmere open. We're winning because they don't close shots down, and the marking's terrible. So I don't think we've seen anything we can take into the Premier League apart from confidence, and that is an important thing. It's Tranmere, but Ollie will milk it. Bring in Bruno. We have a much better chance for the top 4. Take off Maguire and Martial and protect them. Ollie's good day is done, says Buster Nuts. And this is confirmation for no transfers business. I tell you, we will buy. I think we'll buy Bruno Fernandes this week. Every goal is another year on Ollie's contract, says Ali Adnan Nassim. Delo's looking good, says Ism Beast. I think the lads have played really well today. I don't think there's a bad performance on the pitch. I think, if I was doing the player rating show now, I wouldn't give anybody lower than a 7, and most of them would be getting an 8. So, that shows you that everybody's played well. But come on, we've had a really bad season. But let's not be deluded. Delo doesn't solve our right-wing issue just because he scored a goal against Tranmere Rovers. He solves our right-wing issue by playing against decent opposition and doing that. It's nice to see him back. It's nice to see him scoring a goal. But we can't run away with the fact that Tranmere are awful. And we are, 2 leagues above them with infinite more quality. You need, if we go to Man City on Wednesday with a similar formation and a similar sort of, we're not going to be 5-0 up at half time, I don't think. I hope we are, but I don't think we will. But that's where you start to judge whether Delo can solve our right wing issue. I mean, it's Tranmere Rovers at the end of the day, and I think we're all fully aware of that. Pereira is so bad. I think Pereira actually would be the one player that I said actually hasn't had a good game. Expect players to come out in force on Instagram, says Ninad Adav. They'll probably be doing it now, mate. And love Ollie, he's a legend but still not good enough as a manager. Ollie out, says Mick Rowe. And Wayne Barrett says, come on guys, they could have easily come here and folded. We've been good and clinical. They are still playing for the manager and that's important, says Wayne. And why are you so confident about signing Bruno? It's not happening, says Talani Lamola. Well, no, my personal feeling is that we'll get the deal over the line. New contract announced, Lingard and Jones, 10 years. That's from MUFC 1. And Emmanuel Johnson, if Ollie can't play the youth in this sort of game, when will he give them a chance? I hope Gomez and Chong get their contracts, says Emmanuel Johnson. Apparently they're both going. I saw something on Twitter that Chong will definitely go to Italy in the summer and Gomez is off to Portugal. Maybe he'll be part of the Sporting Lisbon deal. I don't know. I wouldn't mind that. And the Red Devil says, I love delusional people. They're a good laugh. And Lingard quality exposed championship level player, says Owen Sausage. But again, look, I've just seen the Lingard goal there. There's 5 yards between him and the player marking him. Martial, 5 yards between him and the player mark. So much time to get your shot off. These are Premier League players. If you give a Premier League player a shot on the edge of the box, most of the time they're not going to miss the goal. And then most of the time they're going to score against the goalkeeper as well. So Tranmere defensively, awful. TG, is Bruno coming? I think he will. I think it will happen this week. I think United will get it done. Yeah. Paul, can you hear me?
Hello, mate.
Hi, mate. Can I just get you to talk about the game for a minute while I just quickly take a toilet break? Is that all right?
Of course, no problem.
Thank you. I think it's all that drink last night going through me. I'll leave you for a minute. I'll be back in a mo.
Well, this is a hangover cure of a score. I don't know about you lot, but this is the first time for a long time that I'm actually smiling and loving a Manchester United game, regardless of what we're not going to learn on this, because we're not going to learn anything, are we? Because Tranmere are rubbish. The pitch is awful. They're basically letting us line up a shot for 5 seconds, work out the angles, get the calculator out, do a bit of trigonometry, and then put it in the top corner. Everything's coming off for us, whereas previous games, nothing has come off for us. All of our goals all of the luck, all of the clinical finishing has come in one game against Tranmere, which is unbelievable. But I swear to God, my head was spinning when we got 5 separate scorers, 4 that haven't scored for ever or ever, like Harry Maguire, and they're banging them all top bins. Like Techers are coming out all over the shop. We're bleeding skill, and Lingard's back to his best. Is probably what Ollie's going to say. And we got world-class players all over the place against. I don't know what Tranmere are doing. Fair play to Tranmere. Do you know what they did? They came out and they thought they could beat us. They thought put pressure on us, and probably rightfully so with a better team. They'll be able to do it. They got big lads, physical. They want to get the ball into the box, up against our defenders, which they did for the first 3 or 4 minutes, and you could see what they were trying to do and how they were going to score against us. But we've been clinical. They've given us far too much space. We've taken advantage of it, which we haven't done a lot against teams recently. And I, for one, am loving it. It's every goal that's come in, I've been absolutely laughing my head off and buzzing from it. When Maguire smashed that goal away for 1-0, from them, I was just enjoying every moment of it. So whatever we don't learn, whatever Ollie's going to milk out of this and say we're back on track, I don't care at the moment, because I'm enjoying a game of football with Manchester United and not just enjoying the final score and result when we win. And soaking up like a sponge. I hope everybody else is as well. I don't think this isn't going to make players better, but it's going to give them a little bit more confidence. And below, he looks like a bit of a Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm not comparing their skill set and how good they are. What I'm saying
Have you been drinking, Paul?
He's a lot better.
Have you been drinking? I've just come back and I can hear you comparing Delo to Trent Alexander-Arnold. But
no, I mean in terms of he's going to be a force going forward, but his defending's absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
And he's weak as a coffee stirrer in Costa. I'll tell you what, Greenwood as well. As much as his clinical finishing is going to be what is going to make him as a player, he needs to bulk up a little bit, because the boy gets knocked off the ball worse than Mata.
He's only 18, at the end of the day, I suppose.
Yeah. I know. I'm not digging him out at all. But Rick, do you remember that season Rashford came back and he was just thicker set?
Yeah.
And he just looked stronger. I think that's what's going to happen to Greenwood, because he's going to fill out. But everyone looks fantastic today, Mark. We're back on track. Champions League's ours. Fourth is incoming. Everybody's a baller. New contracts all over the place. United.
Well, I tell you what, I came back with a smile on my face, because looking at that score next to me, Manchester United 5, Tranmere 0. I mean, even if that was full time, I'd be like, wow. But
Mate, do you know what I just said? Is when you're away, this is the first time in a long, long time I could just sit back and enjoy a game of football.
Yeah.
No stress, no moaning, goals flying in. This must be what it feels like to be, City or Liverpool.
Well, Ibrahim says, I guess we don't
need
need any transfers now, which is obviously a joke. And Josh Sutton says, Romero, one of the best, unheralded performance, almost got the assist and has found players with every ball from the back, plus a couple of easy saves. The end of the world is confirmed. Lingard and Jones both scoring in the same game. Look, I agree with Paul. And for me, this is perfect. I shouldn't have drunk as much as I did last night. I have got a hangover. So United breezing through a game that I can just sit back without any stress and just enjoy and laugh at is perfect. And Phil Jones scoring, Jesse Lingard, it's just bringing a smile to my face. I can't believe how bad Tranmere are, Paul, defensively. They've looked okay going forward, but defensively, I mean, they're not even closing us down. Just shoot. I would, if I was Ollie second half, whatever changes he makes, and I was going to ask you about that anyway, but I can't believe that at 4-0 down they're just letting Martial shoot from the edge of the box and that without pressure. It's like they've conceded 3 goals because of that. So they are really, really bad. But it has been enjoyable. It gets us in the next round of the cup. It gives us a bit of confidence.
Mate, it's great.
And I think it's a free hit. You said it before the game. It's a free hit because it's not like it can't be the start of anything. It can only be the little bubble that we're in today. So enjoy it, because it can't be the start of anything, because we've just lost 2 games in a row, which were embarrassing. And our next 2 games, it's not like we're playing Norwich at home. We're playing Man City and then we're playing Wolves. Now, hopefully, we take something from this and we improve and we get something out of those 2. But would you be surprised if we don't? No, nobody would. So Tranmere today, let's just see. I just want to see how many we can score. I want to remember today, because I want to go
nothing game.
Yeah, but this today could be a memorable day, because if we won 9-0, it becomes a day where you go, remember when we beat Tranmere 9-0? So I hope we can get at least 8, so that the day is just a memorable, nice day. But I mean, Man City and Wolves, they're the real tests this week, and this will be very quickly forgotten if we lose both of those. But substitutions at half time. Sorry, go on.
You should get on the sauce more often, mate. I swear, this is a hangover day. This is a hangover score. This is perfect for you. I mean, if you didn't want any stress today, you've got it. So,
I'm not going to risk it on Tuesday night. I'm not going to be hungover for Wednesday.
Scoops in Monday, mate.
Yeah.
Get the Jaeger bombs in. No, I'm only joking. But in terms of, we're not. I said it earlier, as much as we're not going to learn from this game, because we're going to learn absolutely nothing. I mean, we could have played any formation at all with Tranmere. As I said, they're letting us get the trigonometry out, like working out the angles and smashing it in top bins. But I'll just enjoy the game. The last time we scored 5 in a game, apparently, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It doesn't really count because Tranmere in the cup. But
he's bringing Fred on.
Enjoy it. What's he doing? What?
I mean, what is
Ollie? Everything's going fantastically well, and he dumps Fred on at half time to get a broken ankle. What's the crack with this, man? We could have bring on the actual Fred the Red and would still win this game.
Well, John G said this is Ollie's level. Our club is a joke. 2 subs at half time, and he brings Fred on, who needs a rest.
What's he smoking? It's an unbelievable decision. Who's he taking off?
I don't know.
He's saving Matic, is he? Brilliant.
Well, I don't
Matic
mind
and
him.
Martial are gone.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either, Mark, but it's going to kick off, so I shall see you a little bit later.
Yeah, I'll get you on for the last 10, mate. Thanks for that.
Cool, see you in a bit.
See you in a bit, mate. So, Fred and that McKenna always looks a bit snidey to me. Has anyone else thought that? McKenna on the bench. He always looks his eyes always look like he's a bit snidey. He's probably the nicest guy in the world, but he always looks a little bit arrogant, I think. Anyway, just a person. I'm just absolutely trashing somebody's personality without ever having met them there. You should never do that. Never judge a book by its cover. But Fred is on, and Chong is on, and Martial is off, and Matic is off. So on the bench today, let me just double check this. Do you think United youth are better than Liverpool's? Says Graham Bolger. No. Lingard goal merchandise incoming, says Yip Man. Let me just have a quick look here at what United had on the bench, because I find it odd that we would use Fred, who was one of the positives that Fred wasn't playing today, is now on at half time. And on the bench, let me just have a look what we've got. Lineups. So he's got Mata, Grant, Bailly, Fred, James, Chong and Williams. So yeah, I mean, look, I suppose Fred is the only person who could come on for Matic, but I would have changed it around. You could put Pereira in that position and bring Mata on. Greenwood. Oh, across the face of the goal. I want at least 8 second half. Delo's just put one over the bar. We want at least 8 second half. Anyway, you know why Phil Jones scored? I'm going to tell you why Phil Jones scored now. This! I've never done that before. I changed his car from yellow to pink. I put a couple of pink boots as his dice off his wing mirror. It's not his wing mirror. What do you call that mirror? And he scored a goal. So every time Phil Jones plays from now, I'm going to put that picture up. It's the pink boots, Marcus. It's the pink boots. Why can I watch the game, says JD? It's on BT Sports in the UK. And please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're on our way to 643,000 subscribers. Chong nearly scored there. Their keeper, I don't know what he was doing there. I think he was reading a book. Lingard, pass one. He's fouled somebody. I hate all these American fans, says TG. Glory Hunters. I'm only reading that super chat because that's what that person said. Feel free to ridicule him for trying to ridicule American fans. I mean, I just think it's ridiculous, really, to try and say that you don't like a fan because they're from a different country to you. I think that's just ridiculous. We are Manchester United and everybody's welcome. Tim Z35 says he wants 8 more. I imagine if we got... That's what I want to happen. I want United to get as many goals as possible in this game because... It doesn't matter. Today doesn't matter. We've lost the games that mattered were Liverpool and Burnley, and the games that matter are Wolves and Man City this week. Today was just about winning, which we've done, but this can be a memorable day if we go and get a ridiculous score. If we get 10, neck a beer at the end of the game, says Josh Bowter. Okay, if we get 10 goals, I'll get a beer out of the fridge. I don't want to drink it. I'm absolutely hungover. In fact, I'll make it a little bit more interesting. If we get 8, I'll go and get a beer from the fridge, and I'll drink it. Even though I'll probably throw up live on air. I should have said 9. I'll change it to 9. I'm sure you're going to let me do that. True Mank says every game matters. No, I don't think you understand what I mean. Maybe you do understand what I mean. What I'm saying is today is a bubble game. It's a game to win, to go through in the FA Cup, but if we lose to City and Wolves, no one's going to remember us beating a relegation team, are they? From League One, it's going to be like, well, they were crap. You know, you at Manchester United, you're judged on the real games. Everyone says you've got to do it on 8 now. Oh God! I'll only sip it. I might be actually sick straight away for hair of the dog. When I used to live in Dublin, I used to do that all the time, to be honest. You go into work hungover and you go, there's no way I'm going out tonight. And then by about 4 o'clock, everyone's going out and you think, oh, I'll just go and have one. The first one you struggle with. The second one, it's like topping it up and you're back on it. I'm sure we've all done it, but when I lived in Ireland, I quite regularly would do 4 days in a row. And every day I'd have a hangover, but you just go and do it again. I'm doing it on 8. You're all right. The Democratic Union of the United Stand live chat has dictated that I must do 8. I must get a beer if I get on 8. Phil Jones is loving life. He's absolutely loving himself, Phil Jones. I've never seen him so happy. He's running around with a serious face. He scored a header. He's cutting out crosses. He's knocking it out for throw-ins. He's passing it out from the back. That lad today, he deserves today. It's like his testimonial. He's loving life. He has found his level. It is League One relegation battle. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Trying to get up to 643,000 today. So Tahith Chong's on anyway. That's exciting to see. I like Chong. I'd like to see Chong get a couple of goals. In fact, that's added to my excitement for the second half. I'd like to see Chong get a couple of goals. It made me laugh there, James Chapman. Phil Jones thinks he's Rod Stewart. He thinks he's Rio Ferdinand. And Gin at 10 says Tim Z35. I'm not having a gin. Oh, that will throw me up because that's what I was drinking at the end of the night. The gin. I can't touch a gin today. I'll have a beer, but I can't touch gin. The difference between Watford against Tranmere and United is that Watford put out their third team out, whereas United have literally played with their first team as well, says Ariel de Black. Oh yeah, we've not messed about in this. Ollie's bloody made sure he's put as strong a team out as he reasonably can. Keep Jones for these types of games and give Jones man of the match, says Sadiq Rahman. You know what? I might surprise you here. Phil Jones is a contender for man of the match for me today. He is. No, I'm not messing about. He got an early yellow card. He's recovered. He's done his job. I mean, is there any player that's done better than Phil Jones today? I don't think so. Mark, if Liverpool break their 30-year drought, will everyone turn their focus on Arsenal? 16 years can turn to 30 real quick, says Box of Oranges 84. Yeah, I mean, I think I spoke to an Arsenal fan about this a few weeks ago, and they said exactly that. You know, it's bad enough Liverpool winning the league, but when they do, everyone's going to start focusing on their drought because obviously Chelsea have won a title quite recently. I think United are next after that. I mean, forget Spurs. But between Liverpool was always the longest, but Man City have won titles recently. Chelsea have won titles recently. United, it's been, 7 years now. But Arsenal's is a lot longer than that. Anyway, another corner here. Phil Jones could be looking for number 2. Actually, it would have been a problem if Phil Jones had scored number 2 because it was a Tranmere corner. You need to grab a beer if Chong scores next. Cheers, mate, says Samej Bataya. Let's just stop talking about the beer for a bit because my stomach is really not good. So Chong's playing up top with Greenwood at the moment. Romero, 56 games, 37 clean sheets, says Richard Abil. Yeah, but you know that thing. I like Romero, and I think a lot of people are right when they say Romero is the best backup goalkeeper probably in world football. But, you know, when people sort of wax lyrical about his clean sheet record, look at the teams that he plays against. Like, he plays against the Tranmeres and the Rochdales, and he plays against the crappy Europa League sides. Like, he doesn't... Would he have 37 clean sheets if he played 54 Premier League games? No, he wouldn't. So it's all relative, isn't it? He's a very good goalkeeper, but Fred there has just felt a bit of something, which is why he shouldn't be on the bloody pitch. Mark, when you hit 1 million subs, you can quit your job, mate, says Sage. Thank you. What? Quit the United Stand? 1 million subs? I'm wrecked today. Bacon butty would be lovely. I would love it. I'll tell you what. I'd love a bacon butty. I can hear some anti-Glazer chants, says Alec Williams. Good. We need to, results don't change just because of performances. Well, they do. What I'm trying to say is that stance against the owners shouldn't change because we're winning, which was the great thing about the Norwich game when we're 4-0 up and people were still singing. Full scores a goal and craps himself in a game. Legend. It will be the highlights of the 2019-20 season review. Do they make those anymore, says Alligator? They do. United do season reviews every year. I don't know who buys them anymore. I used to get them every year. I haven't bought one in about 10 years. I didn't even buy one when we last won the title. But I used to get them. Someone used to get me one for Christmas. The Fly Sound, guys, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Thanks for joining, pal. You can support the channel by becoming a member by clicking the join button. Tahi Chong! Penalty! Penalty! Send him off! Send him off! It's a penalty. And it's a yellow card. I don't understand why goalkeepers don't get a red. Yeah, I mean, what's the keeper doing for a start? Lingard's well pissed off because he had a tap in. Look at Lingard. He's like, shit, I've got a chance for a goal. I think Lingard might take this. No, Mason Greenwood. To make it, he doesn't miss penalties, Mason Greenwood. He's as cold as ice and he's ready to sacrifice. I don't know what their keeper was doing though. Oh God, we're only two away from a beer. Easy work by Mason Greenwood. It's 6-0. Easy work. Easy work. And we've got one already and there's still 35 minutes to go. Chong with the assist, really fouled on the penalty. We want 6 to stay. I don't want to drink a beer at 8. 7's fine, but I'll get nervous. 6-0. Obama who says Zayn Miasi. And I'm just going to go. Actually, you've just reminded me. Thanks for that, Zayn. You've just provided an assist against your own fans because I'm going to just tweet out Greenwood better than Martinelli. It will just piss Arsenal fans off, which is something I'm absolutely happy to do. I'll take one. I'll give it out. It's happy good. We want 10. So 6-0 Manchester United. Mason Greenwood with a penalty. Chong's looked lively since he came on. Obama Watts, Zayn Miasi. I know what's coming next. I can't believe you're wasting 20 quid to do Obama stuff. In fact, you know what I'm going to do on your next contribution? I'm just not going to read it. Because super chats are not guaranteed to get read out on the United stand. I always say that. We try to read them all out, but sometimes some get missed. Zane. Jones kind of cute. Pereira got to join Tranmere, says Luke Haynes. Yeah, he's both footed, Mason Greenwood. He can do it off both feet, yeah. I'm a little bit worried about Fred. I do not want to see tackles going in on Fred. Tackle Lingard and Pereira, but don't tackle Fred. I'll tell you what, it'd be a good game for Chong this, though, because this is exactly what should have happened to Chong in the summer. He should have been going on loan. Ollie to win, Lampard in next round. Yet to beat Ollie, says Mato Dalo. Do you reckon United will sign anyone this window, says Zach Turner? I do. I think we will sign Bruno Fernandes, and I think we will get a striker in on loan. Paul Robinson, you're right. He says, under zero pressure, Pereira has got techers, and I think I saw exactly what you saw. I think we all saw it as well. Delo, what was that? Foul. Bit of a waste that. What do you think of Slimani rumours, says Craig Warby? I feel terrified and scared. I don't want us to sign Slimani. No. Score prediction, Pratik. I think this will be 7-0. I don't think we'll get 8. I'm hoping we don't get 8 because then I've got to drink a beer. Idiot. I should have said 9, or really I should have said 10. We've got a substitution for United now. Brandon Williams is going to come on. Which means Harry Maguire is going to play the full 90 minutes, and he'll play the full 90 minutes against Man City, and he'll play the full 90 minutes against Wolves. It just never gives Maguire any time off. Like, never gives him any time off. Well, that's lazy by Chong. You've got to do a bit better there, mate. Oh, Phil Jones, he's left you in the mud there. Phil, recovery tackle. He made it. Or did he? He got skinned. I thought he got back to make a tackle there. Oh, Phil. That's comedy defending from there. He didn't make the recovery tackle. He didn't. Phil Jones, you've just lost your man of the match shout now because you've just been skinned and left in the mud. I can't give you man of the match now. Score another goal and you might get back in the shout. Harry Maguire's had a good game, you're right. Yeah, Harry Maguire. Who's your man of the match at the moment? For me, I think Phil Jones is just out of the running now because of that stupid bloody defending, which is just his downfall, isn't it? My men of the match so far, Delo has played well. Maguire has played well. Give it to Lindelof. Oh, yes. No. That keeper's crap. He's so slow off the line. He's like a corpse. Like, I just keep expecting the goalie to run off the line. He doesn't want to come off it. It's like he's got an elastic band on his bottom tied to the post. He just doesn't want to come off the line. He's awful. Go on, cross it. Why didn't he cross that to Lingard? It would have been a tap-in. Brandon Williams is coming on. Lingard, man of the match. What's Lingard done other than score a goal? Yeah, you're right. Give him man of the match. How did Watford lose to these, says Ethan Wall? I think it was Watford's reserves though, wasn't it? I don't think he played any of his first team because they played Tuesday night. I mean, to be fair to Watford, they played Saturday, Tuesday, and then Thursday. It's 48 hours after a Premier League game. So it was always going to be advantageous for United today because Tranmere and Watford had to play very, very close games back to back. Any thoughts on Cavani, says Ashutosh? Look, I'm not a big fan of Cavani. I think it goes against what United are meant to be doing. He's 33 next month. He's had four injuries in the last 5. He's very expensive. I don't think he's the right sort of thing for United for what we're meant to be building for the future. But I do agree that if it's nothing or Cavani, of course you're going to take Cavani. He's still a decent player, isn't he? So Harry Maguire's coming off. That's a good decision to take Harry Maguire off. I agree with that. Good decision by Ollie. Harry Maguire comes off and Brandon Williams comes on. So yes, Maguire needed the rest. That was a good decision by Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer. So Brandon Williams on and Harry Maguire off. Which is good. You can't argue with that. Get him off. Of course, Wan-Bissaka today has had a total rest. And Pereira's free kick here. Nowhere near. You got no techers. Tranmere making a sub as well. So have I got enough players there? So we basically played a 3-5-2 today, didn't we? Yeah, I tell you what, it's been a very busy January, hasn't it? When you think it was Christmas and we're coming to this new year, FA Cup at the start of the month against Wolves. We had a replay against Wolves. All the Premier League games, the first leg of the Carabao Cup game, the transfer window, the excitement of getting Bruno Fernandes. Then it just drags on forever. And this final week of January, in what has been a very busy and interesting January. Not always the most, positive January, but a very interesting January. Good shot by Delo. And this week we've got Man City and Wolves and the last few days of the transfer window. So, will the club give Solskjaer the money? Zane says, Mark, we are getting Thomas Lemaire. He will have your defenders in his pockets next time at the Emirates. He's shit, mate, to be honest with you. And Mark, it seems Steven Bergwijn is going to Spurs this month. Would you say he would have been a good player for us to bring in? I do like him. I do, Jordan. I do. Steven Bergwijn was a player that we were linked to. And I don't know where Spurs are getting the money from, but we were linked to him last summer and maybe the summer before. Which was when Mourinho was in charge. So Tranmere got a free kick here. United do need a right winger. I think that's without doubt what we need. Cross coming in from Tranmere here. Terrible cross. Fred gets it away. Easy work. So Brandon Williams has actually gone to right back with Lindelof and Jones as the centre-backs. Got to keep a clean sheet. Be embarrassing to concede. Got to keep a clean sheet. Oh, Pereira's got to do better there. Oh, Well done. Once again, no Gomez. What does the kid have to do to get game time? No Bay also, says Bill Snorton. I mean, maybe Eric Bay is just not ready. I mean, it's a dodgy... I know Ollie said, he's fine to play in a game like this, but maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in a game like this just didn't want to play Bay, because it's not the best pitch. But Tranmere trying to get a goal here. They're on the attack. Still 23 minutes to go. United going to dry up a little bit. Gomez was late, so sent home. We don't have all the info, says Cobb Ross Aikins. Apparently that's not true, Cobb. That's from Simon Stone, on the BBC journalist for Manchester United. He said that that's not true. He wasn't sent home. He was part of the squad. He just didn't get picked. I don't know what the truth is about that, but I do think it's odd that Gomez wasn't part of it today. One, two, three, four. Ollie's at the wheel. Nah, just joking, says the great ones. Cypher says, I can't stand Andreas Pereira. What's he done to you? What's he done? Go on, Tranmere, says Denny. Pereira isn't from Stoke, he's from Tranmere, says Roy Widner. Oh, poor old Pereira's getting a lot of stick. United sort of going through the motions here. I think just go for the throat. They're going to get tired in the next 20 minutes, and they're going to get... and their confidence is on the floor. Delo. Oh, it's not a good cross. Not a good cross. Assuming we buy Bruno by Friday with full backing from the club, who is the first signing you would make this summer? Another CM or maybe a right winger? That's from Craig Kalami. Well, yeah, everybody else in the live comments. So Craig says, we get Bruno Fernandes. Who's the next signing in the summer? What's the priority position? I do think another midfielder. I still do think we need a centre defensive midfielder. Lingard's shooting's been crap in this game. I know he scored a goal, but he has had chances to get the shot on target again. Chong's just had a shot there. Goes for a corner. Go on, Phil. You're still on the pitch. You can get number 2 here. We've gone short. I don't get why we went short there. So that corner was a bit of a waste, really. I mean, we'll probably go and score now. Yeah. Corner was a waste of time. It's gone out for a throw-in. I don't get what that corner was all about there. You go short to go back to the edge of the box and just pass it about. It did hit his hand, but it won't be a penno. At least Zane learned to spend his money wisely, says Highbury. Mike, I just watched the goals on MUTV. Tranmere's goalkeeper sucks. It's like they play without a goalkeeper, says Roma Dude. I don't think their goalkeeper's very good. His positioning is awful. He's one of the worst goalkeepers I've ever seen in professional football. Actually, he stands on his line and he doesn't close the angle down. So when it's a long shot, it makes it difficult to save. He doesn't come off his line quick enough. When he does come off his line, he does weird sort of things and doesn't use his hands. So he's not a very good goalkeeper. But to be fair, I mean, look, why are we scrutinising Tranmere? They're crap. We won't play them again. But also, what team at any level, it shouldn't, just because we're playing a League One side, you shouldn't be like, well, they stand off. All their defenders give the attackers 5 yards. Pick your spot, take your shot. That's any level of football. You close somebody down on the edge of the box, but Tranmere didn't want to do it for some reason in the first half. So quite not surprised that they're going to get relegated from League One. Thoughts on Delo playing right wing, says Duggan. I'd like to see him do it in a Premier League game or maybe on Wednesday night. I don't think you learn anything about anybody today in relation to the quality, because unless you're going to send them on loan to the League One, we're a Premier League footballing side. I worry that even at this level, Andreas hasn't shone, says Cobb Ross Aikins. Yeah, I think he's been one of our worst players today, and we haven't had really many bad performances. But Pereira, in the position he's playing, he hasn't grabbed the opportunity at all. Another wasteful shot from Tranmere. Double substitution for Tranmere now. What do you think of Morata for United? Says Star Class Gaming. Where is Morata now? He's in Italy, isn't he? Is he at Atletico Madrid? But I'm sure he plays a bit because didn't he play in the final against Real Madrid the other week? And he got fouled. Right wing as a priority, says Freddie Mercury. Pereira needs to be sold in the summer, says Stephen Diak. Kirita Janga says, only 6 goals against Tranmere. Sack Ollie now. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. I don't know how close we are to 643,000, but let me have a quick look. We're only 200 away. So bottom right hand corner, please subscribe if you're new. And that number will change to 643. Who's your top 3 realistic CDM targets, says Stiff Idiot. I mean, I don't know whether a centre defensive midfielder is a priority position for United. For me, it's one of the number 1 positions we should be looking at. In that position, who's realistic? I mean, look, I'd love us to sign Ndidi. I think Premier League proven. Exactly the sort of profile player that we need in that place. Samari's interesting at Lille. I mean, he's far from being the finished article. So, oh, go on, Brendan. You got to get back here. Good tackle, good tackle. Pereira couldn't hit a barn door with a banjo, says Richard Abiel. And 15 minutes to go. I've just subscribed, says Jake Stewart Vlogs. Thank you, Jake. Joe's out now, says Old Tube. And convince me why I should subscribe to the channel, says Finian Marin. Well, you should subscribe to the channel because live content is absolutely superb. The live comments are brilliant. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams, match reaction, transfer daily, previews, call-ins. Basically, if you like football, the United stand is the place to be. It's Tranmere, but United 6 goals. Have I died, says Mr. Beast. Nope, you're not in heaven. And you're not drunk. Phil Jones and Jesse Lingard did score, and we are winning 6-0. Ollie's loving it. He's so happy. He's like, I've made it. I'm back. I'm back, Michael. I'm back. I've made it. I'm only taking a piss. Why shouldn't he be happy? He's had a hard week. I'm just glad it's been easy, because on a hangover, that's what you want. Oh. Where's that gone? Oh, that's gone. I'll have to find it later. Do you like United more than your mum, says Rohit. I'm not answering questions like that. Lingard just had a shot from here. I wasn't looking. Again, they're standing off him and letting him shoot from the edge of the box. I can't describe how crap Tranmere are. I mean, it's a good effort by Jesse, but it's a free shot every time. They just let people shoot. They don't close them down. Any negatives from the game? I don't like to call it negatives. Has anybody not performed? I think Andreas Pereira's not really performed. I mean, I wouldn't give him a 4. I don't think anybody deserves anything less than a 6, but I don't think Pereira... I think Pereira could have done a lot more against an opposition like this. If we sign Bruno, would you still give Ollie more time like you said in the past? Also, what the fuck does Zayn Miassi do for a living? Says Finn Brook. Well, I don't know what Zayn does for a living. If we sign Bruno Fernandes, I will be very, very excited. So I just want to enjoy him in a United shirt if he comes. Tranmere have got a free kick on the edge of the box here. Pereira giving the free kick away there. Still got 13 minutes to go. Aaron O'Neill says, do you think we should focus on cup competitions this season? Well, I mean, that's such a difficult question because I don't think we've got any choice in the matter. I don't think we've not focused on the league. We're just not good enough in the league. So I think we can focus on whatever we're good enough to focus on. And I think the Europa League, to me, is still the best chance we've got of getting the Champions League, which is surely the dream. And I think it is a bit of a dream. I don't think anybody expects us to get in the Champions League. So we've got to be in the Europa League. We cannot not be in the Europa League. I know people don't like the Europa League, but I would rather be in the Europa League than not in anything. Terrible free kick by Tranmere. Absolutely shit. Way over the bar. Still haven't been able to really carve them open. Long shots and a header, just saying, says Lee Galdart. Yeah. I think that's probably worth bringing up in the match reaction, really. I can think of a couple of times where we have passed our way in, but not as much as you would like. And I don't know whether Tranmere maybe watched United play Burnley on Wednesday night and were like, look, they can't carve us open, just let them have it on the edge of the box, because they definitely stood off us so many times, and we've scored with those chances. The result will be used against United by the Papist rivals if United don't win the next few games, says Gunner Station. And welcome to Ryan Hadfield, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Ollie and Woodward group hug at the after the game. Still needs a rebuild, says Andra Lau. Did I see Young's assist for Inter just now against a good Cagliari side as well, says Alec Baldrick. Like, you're really lucky I read that. I don't appreciate the capital letters. I don't normally read that. But, Ashley Young assist against Cagliari. Look, I watch Italian football. It's like watching the Premier League on slow play. Ashley Young will do well in the Serie A because it's a slow league. It's a retirement home. So... Ashley Young's always had a good delivery, so fair play to him, but I still think, I don't get why Ashley Young's not here. He was the club captain, it's January, the club's in a mess, and he went. And I know people say, well, he's looking out for himself, but we're Manchester United, aren't we? I would have hoped there'd be a bit of loyalty, but, I suppose it's the modern game, isn't it? I really don't give a shit what he does. The league's slow. Eriksen's been crap at Spurs for a year. You watch when he goes to Inter Milan, he'll suddenly become really good because the league's slow. "10 minutes to go, people. 10 minutes to go." And I don't think I'll be drinking the beer because we've only got one in the second half. Which is a bit of a shame, but that does happen a lot, doesn't it? You're 5-0 at half time, you think, we could win 10 in the second half, and you don't kick on. It's like, I've seen it so many times. Teams don't necessarily kick on. It's almost like they drop down the gears. I think that's happened a little bit in this one. So, Paul, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Mark, yeah.
Yeah, we've only had the one goal in the second half then. Little bit disappointed, but not to be unexpected, I suppose. Good shot from Tranmere there.
Yeah, what do we expect, really? We're going to take our foot off the pedal, weren't we? We haven't scored 6 away in the FA Cup since the 70s, apparently, according to the commentary. So
you should have left that to Ollie. I'm sure Ollie would have told us all that.
Oh yeah, he's gonna absolutely slap us silly, isn't he? With positivity, it's gonna be too much. It's gonna be insipid. But no injuries so far. Touch wood. So that's a positive. We didn't want anyone breaking because we haven't got enough people left to break. I don't really know what we learnt, Mark, but you can pull positives out of this one for sure. We haven't cut Tranmere open. This is true, through intricate triangles and passing relationships, but we scored some absolute crackers, so let's enjoy this while we can, and then it's back to the grind over the next couple of games, isn't it? It was Wolves and Man City.
So Man City on Wednesday night and then Wolves on Saturday evening. where apparently there will be a walkout, which I just do not think is going to happen at all. This reminds me, I don't know what people think in the live comments, but trying to find out where this idea has come from has been very difficult. I've had a couple of people message me saying it's this person doing it, and from looking at them, they are just Twitter accounts.
Sure, with a shot there.
Yeah, sure, with a chance there. They're not particular. It's not the Manchester United Supporters Trust or anything like that. It's this is just something trying to get off the ground on social media. We saw this in the summer. There was a planned protest march, and a lot of people got behind it. And on the day, they had about 10 people there.
Do you know what it is? It's the media picked this apart from Twitter from a couple of tweets, which they do. You know, the old people are disgusted at, even though there's one dude going, I don't like it. And then the other story, the next story is no one turns up or no one walks out.
Yeah.
From the planned walkout that wasn't planned properly anyway in the first place. So they generate their own stories through this. Yeah. But if it happens, fantastic. Something like this needs to happen. But if it doesn't, I won't be shocked.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, and I think it's ill-conceived. I don't think it's planned properly, and I think it's way too short notice to plan something like that anyway. And also, I just don't think in the modern game you can get, without loads of support and discussion, fans to walk out of a game. I just think it's very difficult to make that happen. So,
the global fan base.
Yeah.
That Man United have got. If it's a smaller club, like if you did it at Bournemouth with a 11,000 seater stadium, and most people who support Bournemouth are from Bournemouth, then you can organise it. But with Manchester United, it's a different story entirely, isn't it? I mean, it has to come from the season ticket holders, and it has to be organised through the season ticket holders and some sort of official account, I should imagine. So we'll see. But today's going to be a kind of reset button for Ollie, isn't it? He keeps getting these reset buttons. All the wins that he has, it's like start again. Yeah, but we won 2 games ago. I don't think it should be that for Ollie because it's a 6-0 against Tranmere, who are awful. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, not for me. I mean, as I say, I've enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people have enjoyed it. I mean, the second half has been what I feared might happen at 3-0, so at least we've gone and got another 3 goals because the game was over as soon as we went 2-0 up, really. I didn't fancy them to score twice against us. I know they did it against Palace, but defensively United are quite well organised. Chong's just hit the bar.
Chong from the bar. Bad luck, pal.
He's showing some potential, hasn't he, Chong? I mean, he's going. That's the sad thing. He will be leaving Manchester United, as will Gomez, as we understand. But
but I'm more upset about the principle of him leaving than I am actually the player.
Yeah.
If you understand me, in terms of the player leaving, I don't think he's going to be what we need him to be. But the principle of the fact that we talk about youth all the time, and then we're flogging 2 of our prospects out to Europe. It just goes against the grain, doesn't it?
See, I disagree about Chong. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but I actually think Chong, if you look at Chong in this game against Tranmere, he's looked decent, and I think what he needed to do was go on loan in the Championship. I think that, to me, was always the obvious thing to do, because physically he just needs to get used to playing competitive football. And
but I think there's hundreds of Chongs out there.
Well,
I don't think he's shown me anything different to someone in the Championship who's decent.
You
might
be right.
We can't just we've got to stop this. I know he's from the youth, and I'd love to support everybody who comes through, but we need to progress as a team and keeping players like Chong, who are going to be a good squad player. We've got all the squad players we need, haven't we? Really, what we need is world class within that squad to bring the potential forward. So he's kind of filling. If we keep him, he's filling a gap where somebody else better could potentially go in and improve us. That's my opinion anyway. I know it differs from yours because you rate Chong, but
Charles Crane says, how has Gomez not played today? Adam VSC says, how does Pereira manage to look awful when we're 6-0 up? Loses the ball too much. Josh Sutton says, the walkout reminds me of the Area 51 raid. I expect to see a few people run around all Naruto style. And Philip Burtonwood, no harm to you, Zane. You're wasting your time being on this wonderful channel. Back to your closet. Poor old Zane. And
good old Zane.
We've got one good quality attacker and he's injured. The rest are backup players, says Brian Whitehead. I do think we were talking about that before. I do think that we massively miss Marcus Rashford. And I think from today's game, I think it's natural, isn't it? When the goals are ticking in, you're just enjoying the goals ticking in. But we hadn't had a goal for half an hour, so we're now sat here going, oh, but it is only Tranmere.
It is, it's true. But if you look at the team at the moment and look at it in the entirety when we get everybody back fit, which is unlikely we're going to get everyone back fit the way it's been going. But you could kind of, if you put Pogba back in there and you get Bruno Fernandes and you get McTominay back and you get Rashford back, our starting 11 could look pretty fierce. It's just the satellite players based around that starting 11. We can't replace quality with quality. As you say, we got Rashford out, and it's absolutely knocked us. And that's Rashford from the youth setup, by the way. Who we should not be relying on, even though he's had a fantastic season. The satellite players, we haven't got quality to replace quality. So, however good our starting 11 is, it's always going to suffer because we can't replace the same quality with quality. Therefore, the entire season will be difficult to not be inconsistent.
I'm just wondering there if BT Sports had given Jesse Lingard man of the match, because they just seem to spend a lot of time on him there. Who would your man of the match be, actually? Everybody in the live comments as well, but also Paul. Who would you go more man of the match?
I don't know, That's a really good shout.
I know who I'm going to go for, but obviously
Delow's been very good.
I'll tell people on the match reaction.
But I can't single one person out specifically. So Delow in his first full game back, he's played the full 90 minutes and hasn't really made many mistakes, and I think he's been good going forward. So just as a confidence booster, I'll give Delow man of the match. But there's a few contenders, but no one's really blasted it, have they? Because 5 different scorers is fantastic. 6 different scorers.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Maguire, Phil Jones, Luke Shaw, Delow. It wouldn't be Jesse Lingard for me. I actually don't think. I think his goal's good, but I don't think Lingard's done as bad as Pereira. I think Lingard's had a good game. He wouldn't be my man of the match, but I think Pereira and Lingard against this team should have done. We should have created more, really. I know we've won 6-0. Yeah, but we haven't created enough chances for our front two, I don't think, against a team like this.
No, you're right. I mean, they should be balling. They've got all the time and space in the world. Tranmere have said, do what you can do. Play your game. Show us what you've got, because we're just going to sit off you, especially in the first half. And they've still looked, kind of good, whereas they should really be balling and knocking it around and showing us exactly what they've got. But I just doubt that they have got it, that extra quality. They're good players. They always will be good players. But you need a little bit more to be Manchester United starting 11, don't you? And as squad players, I mean, the reason we're in this mess at the moment is because we've kept squad players for 10 years who we hope are just going to be squad players, and they always end up being first team players. As you said about Mata, he'll be a good bench player, good in the dressing room. He's got a lot of first team action. So we need to rotate, Mark, and take the emotion out of it a little bit and get back on track.
I thought Greenwood was going to pull something off there. Mark, if you don't want Bay, we'll buy him as we need. He will develop under Arteta. No one develops under Alisa Zamiasi. I mean, I think Eric Bay is a player that Arsenal looked at in the past and Spurs have looked at. I mean, Eric Bay is a very well liked player by United fans. The problem is he's like Stretch Armstrong. He's always bloody bending his body into injuries, isn't he? So, but we've only got about 50 seconds left.
He's a liability, if you ask me. If he can calm down. I mean, as an athlete, he's ridiculous, which is why he does all the moves that he does. He's like Bruce Lee. He's all over the shop. But he doesn't need to. As you've said it quite a few times, you don't need to go down. If you don't go down as a central defender, I think that shows class. When do you see Van Dijk on the deck? You don't. Positional play. He's always in the right place at the right time, and he's got the pace. Now, if Bay can acquire that positional awareness, he's got the pace and the strength that you need in abundance. He's just got to stop flying into tackles and be where he needs to be at the right time, so he doesn't have to. And then I think we got a player, but at the moment, imagine him and Rojo in central defence at the moment. It's going to be back to the 70s, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we're about at full time. I think it is full time. So thank you very much for coming on, Paul.
Always a pleasure, mate. 6-0. Can't go wrong, really, can you?
No.
Let's see what Ollie's got to say about it. And take care, mate. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, speak to you soon, mate. Easy work that was today. Speak to you in a bit. And thanks everyone for watching on the watch along. I will be over doing my match reaction. The link hopefully is in the video description. Let me just double check. I'm on the wrong page. Let me come back. It is. So yeah, match reaction, link in the video description, man of the match, talking about United, a little bit of an update on Bruno as well. But Tranmere out and Manchester United running through. FA Cup draw will be tomorrow night, for anybody who doesn't know. We will be in that, and the FA Cup 6th round, isn't it, is actually being played midweek at the start of March, sorry. Right, link in the video description. I'll see you on the match reaction in about 60 seconds. See you there.